Oh, yeah, yeah, hey, 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 hey. Oh, if you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. Yeah. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you're looking for inclusion, then talk to me. Talk to the family tree. We can all ride when it's time to slide on our enemies. And we can all ride when it's time to override these policies. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies, sister. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies, sister. You gotta show me trust. You wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. Hey. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust.
Here's the thing. I'll be frank with you, uh, and honest. Like, I don't gotta like lie about what Black Americans have said or done to like foreigner blacks, right? Non-FBA. I'll tell you. I'll tell you straight up. Yeah, Black Americans definitely call Africans and probably folks from the Caribbean, African booty scratchers. I'll tell you straight up. But I would say they did it as
Right.
kids. They didn't do it as adults. So when we're like in high school, you're not doing that. That's not what you're doing in high school. And even their own testimonies, they'll tell you grade school. In grade school is like elementary. They'll tell you that's when it happened. But we don't believe Jamaicans are lazy. We don't believe Africans are lazy, right? We don't believe they're thugs and criminals, even though their countries might reflect that. So Lars agreed. We don't believe that over here. So and that's why I say in high school until adulthood, you'll see us very close with Africans, well, really Caribbean people first and foremost, but secondly, maybe Africans, right? But New Jersey, New York, Philly, you'll see there's like really no difference between a Black American and a person from the Caribbean as far as like friendship. Like they embrace it both ways. Black Americans embrace
Right.
them 100%. Caribbean embrace Black Americans 100%. It's like there's no separation. So I was
Right.
thinking from that angle. Like at that angle, what is our uh okay, what is our vice for non-FBAs at that level to the high school adult? I don't know of any, but
I mean,
I
you
do
have
see the
some,
opposite.
you have some like, they call Jamaican weed smokers.
Oh
They just
yeah,
smoke
right.
weed.
90% of the country fucking smoke. Are you serious? Here.
I'm saying like most Black American, they think every Jamaican is a Rasta.
No,
dread. That's
not
what.
Rasta, not Rasta, because we know what Rasta is. Rasta is like vegetarian. It's like a whole doctrine behind it. We don't believe that. Now, if anything, we might believe they might be a shot. It might be crazy, because even when I was growing up, I believed Jamaicans were crazy. In my like high school adulthood, that's why we didn't bully them in the high school adulthood. Maybe elementary we'll say some shit, but we were not talking like that 17, 18, 21 years old. That's why we were not doing that, because these guys
Right,
will fight.
right.
Okay. Yeah. So that did not exist. They will fight
So regarding
and shoot for.
regarding like the regarding like the grown adults, would you agree that the Hebrew Israelites is anti-African?
Okay. The one West Israelites, yes, not all of them, because you got one West that got the extreme doctrine, white man's devil. You got other Hebrew Israelites that's not one West, and they believe all people, not just black, but white people also are included in the fold of Christ. But yeah, for the one West doctrine, yes, they are anti-African.
Regarding the One West, would you agree that they're the majority of the Hebrew Israelites groups, or majority
No,
of
no,
the
no,
Hebrew
no, no. They
Israelite
they they,
groups
they
sprung out
no,
of the
they
One
had
West?
no, because the one West group is new. The what's his name? God, bro, you caught me slipping. The origins of Hebrewism was not one West. The origin of Hebrewism was all inclusive, like except for black folks. Like they included all black folks, and to some degree, they even included white folks. But definitely black folks from everywhere. The one West, that's 1980s. And by the way, Kwame, my opinion is that the one West Israelites are former Nation of Islam members that got kicked out for whatever reason, and they started this one West thing. That's my opinion, because that hate doctrine was never there until the 80s, and when Elijah Muhammad passed away, that was 75. So a lot of those guys started to leave the Nation of Islam and go to Sunni Islam, and they went to Christianity, and they corrupted those religions. They took their racism and they practiced it in Sunni Islam and they practiced it in Christianity. And my opinion is they came up with one West doctrine, which was Islam. I'm sorry, Christianity with hatred.
Right. Do you believe the lady I was just speaking on Tariq's show? Do you believe that she come from a One West doctrine, or she probably um
She didn't say the white
uh,
man was evil, but had she said that, I would have said yes.
right? But she still believe that she's not African and they're different.
Oh
Like
yeah,
she
yeah,
just
yeah.
broke down.
Oh yeah, that's one West. Once you say you're not African and you got a problem with Africa and you're like an Israelite, you're definitely one West.
Right. So what about the black church also? Like we could go back from like Frederick Douglass' time when he was calling Africans savages and undeveloped and like things like that.
Um, you got to source up on that. But if that was said, which again, I'm just going on what you're saying. I don't believe he said that. Frank Jones is very educated. I don't believe he'll call an African person a savage. Uh, I believe you might have took it out of context. He might have said a savage state. Maybe he's speaking on a particular group, maybe doing cannibalism or whatever. But I don't believe he would call just a generic African a savage. I don't believe that.
Oh yeah, I'll find the source for you in a second.
Yeah, please do that.
Right. So I think it kind of worked both ways, but regarding the media,
What works both ways?
I think like the overgeneralization of Africans or Black Americans as a whole too.
Yeah, but
I think it kind of worked both ways with the
but
media.
no, it couldn't be, because we were trying to fight. Well, the first Pan-Africanists were trying to go to Africa. They went to Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria. So no, like if you felt that way, you won't be trying to go where they're at. You dig? So they're actually trying to live amongst them. And so the whole RBG thing was an African connection thing. So that we as a collective were never anti-African. And forget Christianity teaches. We were Christians for the most part. Christianity teaches love all people. So we were never, as a collective, we were never anti anybody. That's why we turned to we tolerated racist white folks for so long. We were never anti another people collectively. Now, I agree. Now, I think the Nation of Islam created that lane. And by the way, I rebuke them. Okay, I don't side with that. And their doctrine is 100% anti-African. But listen, what I'm saying to you, Kwame.
Yeah, I was just about to get to it because they
yeah,
believe that Africans curse too.
Yeah,
What
but
they
listen,
hear.
but listen what I'm trying
Even
to say.
Farrakhan is on record that he had to apologize.
Yeah. But listen
for
what I'm
certain
saying.
things he said.
But this is what I do that y'all don't do or Africans don't do. I rebuked that already on lives, bro. On live 5-10 years ago. I said he was wilding, he was wrong. And I got pushback and I got, threats from Nation Islam members, whatever, supporters. But I'm on record saying he's wild, he's wrong, and we were clowning him for that. So now we need to see that on the opposite side. Like we need these guys to clown.
Do Africans have like a anti-Black American rhetoric regarding like the Yorubas, the Akans, or even the people from the Caribbean? Do they have like a doctrine that's anti-Black American?
Most Africans no. Okay, so let me just nip that in the butt right now. Most Africans do not believe that. Most Africans, most Caribbeans, they love Black people globally. Then you have what we call the tether class. The tether class are the ones who are more vocal, and they're trying to get over to the United States or Canada or the UK to help spew that that Nick Fuentes rhetoric, that scientific racism rhetoric. So most Africans feel like Ibrahim Traoré.
Would you agree that the people that do come up with these rhetoric, they're more in the fringe group? They're not in the majority or the consensus or what the people think?
Nah, yeah, of course. They don't represent the majority, but their voice is louder than the majority because they get validity from white supremacists. Let that go. They get validity from white supremacists, and white supremacists has those big, large platforms.
So why should you highlight the fringe group that I would say is westernized, brainwashed, with these type of rhetoric? Why do they have to be highlighted? Because most people from the Caribbean or Africa, they don't highlight the anti. Like most Caribbeans is not thinking about Hebrew Israelites when they think about Black America.
Well, first of all, Caribbeans include. Wait. Let me correct you. Hebrew Israelites include the Caribbean. All right. They are actually Jamaican. Nathaniel Seven, those guys, his second in command is from Jamaica, so in Haiti. So I'm very familiar with the Hebrew Israelite. I used to be part of it. I used to be I was never part of a group, but I was in that ideology at one point. So the One West doctrine, they are all inclusive of the Caribbean, okay, and the Hispanics. So the Caribbean was never excluded out. They're always welcomed in. That's why they go to the Caribbean to recruit. But when they go to Africa, what happened? They got kicked out and chased out, and death threats were upon them. So the Caribbean was always inclusive to the Hebrew Israelite rhetoric.
To some extent, yeah, I could agree with that.
No, hey, bro, listen, no. They believe that. Look, let me check you.
Because you're talking about a specific group. Not every group believes in the 12 tribes.
Bro, One West doesn't matter. One West doctrine. Well, yeah, you got, bro. Trust me. All right, I used to be in this. I got videos going back, bro. I know a lot. All right, just trust me this one. Okay, you got small Hebrew Israelite groups. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, bro. Listen, I don't know one Hebrew Israelite group that does not welcome Africa, the Caribbean. Not one. Please update me on that. Now, there are some Israelite groups, most of One West are inclusive of Hispanics. But bro, I know groups that do not include the Hispanics, but they all include the Caribbean, bro. So if you know one that excludes the Caribbean, that you would teach me something. A person who's been in this thing for 15 years, you will teach me. I need you to find me one Israelite group of old, not something new, not no FBA Israelite group, some old Israelite group that excluded the.
So you kind of broadened the question, but
no, but you can do that too. No. I'm saying. Listen, what I'm saying, because it's meaningful. What I'm saying is, if you were to find one, it'd be recent. It'd be like the last 3 years. and that would be an FBA Israelite group if you did that. But what I'm saying is historically, Israelite groups, they were most of them included Hispanics, some did not, but they all
Right.
included the West Indies. Okay, so I don't know one that did not.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah, because I'm very like diverse and educated in Israelite, one West doctrine. I debate them all the time, bro. I'm gonna sign that debate. Are you familiar with Captain Sariat?
Yeah. I seen
Okay,
Captain Cesario in person in Queens. So
okay. Well,
I'm
brother, I
familiar with
debated
Captain
him on
Cesario.
Sunday TV and I won. All right, the poll said I won. So that's
Okay,
how,
maybe I gotta check it out. Maybe you gotta put the link so I could check
right,
it out.
right. I debated over 300 Israelite men in 1 year. I debated every camp leader, except for like the IUIC guys, 'cause they were like a free. But every Israelite group, every camp, I debated a leader or somebody top official and beat every last one of them. Okay, so name somebody, I destroyed them. The GMS was afraid to debate me, and IUIC, everybody was debating me, and they got destroyed. But I did debate IUIC members though, and cooked them,
Okay.
and all and
I
all
know
of
they
it is
usually
recorded.
don't debate like that, but that's what's up.
Yeah. So you gotta sucker them to debate. You gotta propose it as a conversation, low key debate. You dig? So I'm talking to them, but I'm actually debating, and they got cooked in the debate, quote unquote. All right. So
Yeah.
a debate just simply means we disagree and we're giving oppositional points. You know what I mean, of an argument. Bro,
Right.
just make a little piece. Okay. Okay, good, bro.
Yeah, so I think the media covers like how you were discussing. I think it kind of work both ways, even though some people can't form they own opinion. Because from what I've seen Africa they go coming here to New York in the late '90s. I could see how certain Africans could develop certain stereotypes because I've seen like just even the cab business. I've seen like African cab drivers that have been robbed
Yeah,
and
no, I don't
deleted.
blame none. I don't blame none of the cab drivers. By the way, when they see a black man keep going, I don't blame none of them. Right, but bro, that's not that don't represent the African. So what you're doing is like you're looking for the smallest straw, and you're pulling it. Okay, so if an African guy rides past an FBA person looking for a cab, I can't blame him. The FBA doing some bullshit. All right. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I will ride past, bro, if I was an Uber driver. Now I don't want nobody FBA. I'm cool, okay, because I know my people, and I know we disrespectful and we're wild. We'll smoke a black and mild in the back seat. You dig? So yeah, now we're disrespectful. I'm cool. As a matter of fact, my boy currently is a cab driver in New Jersey, and he worked for a Spanish cab company, and they sent him to the black areas, and he'd be pissed off because we're the most disrespectful client. So yeah. If a cab driver, a bus driver ride past us, I get it, but other folks don't get it past us. Like a job
Right.
employer, people like that. Nah, yeah, but cab drivers and certain things like that, delivery person, yeah. You know what I mean? Uber Eat, yeah, okay, yeah. See, I'm a realist. I'm gonna keep it real where we messed up at because I can't deal with them ninjas. You dig?
Right. So what would be your contentions as far as Africans that come here that you think undermine Black Americans? Like, what would
Okay,
be the
so
bulletin points?
so my only problem is when they go into politics. So they speak on things like reparations, right? And they say no. Okay, so that that is when like you just committed treason. It's like okay, any alliance with you is over. Because you're coming in here and you're not understanding the history of what happened between white and black people and why reparations is due. Reparations is real simple. Real simple definition of reparation is harm in the past. It was a past harm that's being brought to the table today, right? So you're paying for a past harm, not the current, past. So when somebody say no reparations,
Right.
it's like, okay, it's like you're denying a past harm. It's like, okay, so I mean, like when it comes to white folks, like white folks, some agree. Like you got Ann Coulter, like who's a complete white supremacist, right? Racist, who admits, hey, we done. She stood 10 toes. She said we have done Black Americans wrong in the past and current, but we don't have that history with Hispanics. She said like basically what we do to y'all that y'all want to tag on things set aside for what she says Black Americans or African Americans. She said she talks to the Spanish community. Like, why are you tagging along with affirmative action and different things that we set aside for these people who are directly deprived and hurt, for these things we didn't give them? Why are you tagging along with it today? What we do to you guys? So we got to end culture.
But no,
And wait. The last thing she said, this is the Republican position. I think that was heavy. Look at it.
But no offense, like I can't speak for the Hispanic people because those are not my people. Like I don't see no Africans in California or Caribbeans protesting reparations in California, those type of places that I think you're drawn from, like the Mexican community or the Hispanic community as a whole in California that's pushing against reparation. And would you say the Black Caucus is an FBA
No.
organization?
No, hell no. That thing right now got nothing but Black foreigners running that thing. No sir. No
The
sir.
Black Caucus in California?
Yeah, got a bunch of Black foreigners in there. So no, I did not see that as a FBA ran organization. No sir.
So who are these Africans that's the head of board or the head leaders of the Black Caucus that's Caribbean or African?
Yeah, well, when I get to I'm in the kitchen right now, but cut some apples up for my son. But when I get to my computer, I'll show you. I mean, that's like they've been in there since like 2010. They've been in it for a long while. Like, yeah, that thing is not a FBA ran exclusively. No sir, no sir. People are power in there, and see, and that's the thing, Kwame. Like at one point, like we believed black was black, like black, black Jamaican, black African, black Nigerian, black American, black is black. Okay, at one point we believe that until we start to see like what they stood on. Like they didn't stand on things we stood like injustice because white racism because there's no white racism in their country. Like they deal with their own people. So if they got scammed, it was from a black insurance move. If they got harassed from a black officer, if they got deprived from a black politician, it was black, 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 black. So when they come over here, they can't relate to white people doing something wrong. And we can't relate to them with black folks doing something wrong. So it's like a disconnection. So they can't speak for us. We can't speak for them.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that.
Yes, it's a disconnection. We can't. So that's why we have like concerns about Africa. We're like, why this, why that? Because we can't fathom black people doing you wrong like that. So
Right.
we can't go to Africa speaking on like the government, you dig, that's black, that's corrupt. We only know about white corrupt governments. So we'll end up blaming the citizens. Like, hey man, your government is okay. You dig? Like we won't relate to that.
Donnie, I'm not against reparations for Black Americans. I don't know where have you got that from me talking. I've never been against Black Americans getting reparations in America. So I don't know why would you ask, am I against reparation?
So look, so let me ask you this though. That's the topic. So when people say they watch now, because again, brother, I can show you Jamaicans, I can show you Africans, I can show you Ethiopians, Sudanese people, all saying the way they feel about Black Americans came from social media. No, I'm sorry, came from movies. So how do you think they're capping, or do you believe there's something to that?
speaking for myself, I never got no negative connotations, or my people or my family. They never had nothing negative to say about Black Americans regarding any movies or
Not you.
even news.
The claim that's being made. Like, can you, you could like come up with a way to explain it for them, like, because listen, bro, a lot is not two, three. A lot of folks from Africa and the Caribbean is saying movies, bro. If you didn't call in after that she video, I was gonna play my conversation with Hassan Trinidadian and Sufi Jamaican, both blaming movies on why they look at Black folks as like savages.
I mean, they could probably draw that conclusion based on certain movies that's probably documented as a culture, like how you got
Like
put up
what?
menaces, like Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood,
Now,
Baby Boy.
before you go further, because I put those up there. Before you go further, wouldn't you think
Right.
they're like, when you think they're educated enough to know what movie is fake, fantasy, is actors?
Yeah, of course. But
Okay.
it still reflect reality or a certain culture that
Well, no.
exists.
Okay. So now watch this. So when I looked up negative movies for like in America, Black folks, and I looked up positive movies because when I did
Like,
this research,
can I make one more point?
okay, okay,
Like for instance, like people could draw their conclusion on Jamaica based on shatas or belly, or they could think every Jamaican is ox, or they could think, you feel me, those type of
or
connotations. So
African booty scratchers, right? Based okay, but go ahead, keep on.
yeah, they could base their, like Black Americans, they could base their conclusion based on what they see, like donate 5 cents a day to help feed this hungry Ethiopian, or
The Posse
you know
Clan.
the parasite belly, or or the Jamaican
Okay.
shower posse, or things like that.
Okay. So brother, so here's the contradiction. I want you to listen. So if it can go both ways, then why do they complain about being called an African booty scratcher?
Uh, they could probably feel like it's um that you're generalizing
Wait. Hey,
a
Kwame, but
whole
hold
community.
on. But now you're going backwards. You just said both of us generalize on each other about movies. Okay.
Right.
Okay, cool. So I'm saying if that's true, if you're justifying calling us a thug or lazy or this based on Boys in the Hood, and that seemed justifiable to that person, then why is that person complaining about being called an African booty scratcher by those who are watching movies and depictions of them? And this is their assessment. You're an African booty scratcher. I'm a thug. I'm a criminal. I'm lazy. Okay. Well, you are, sir, ma'am, an African booty scratcher from my experiences with media. It should be even Steven then. Why would one
Yeah.
complain?
Yeah, it should definitely be even Steven.
Okay.
Black Americans, they say Africans live in mud huts and they
Well,
eat bush
I don't.
meat, and
Okay, well, no. They actually okay. So hey, so now, brother. So now listen. There's something that's true and something that's false. Africans do eat bushmeat.
yeah,
Like
some Africans do eat bush meat. Like some
right.
Black
So
Americans eat raccoons and possums. So
yeah. In the South, the rural South, right? But okay, yeah. But I don't hear Africans or Caribbean people making that a point of argument. Hey, you eat coons because I'm sure they would say, hell yeah, I do. Because I think that's disgusting. But guess what? They own that. They don't apologize. They don't say nah, don't. They own that. And that to me, that is disgusting. You can't catch me in no damn market eating a dead coon or possum. Okay, but listen, I don't want you to speak too fast. You miss what I'm pointing out. Brother, if we are to accept foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slaves, are we to accept if we are to accept other Black people call us thugs and lazy based upon movies, then the same people come over here, they need to accept that they are African booty scratchers and stop acting like they're so traumatized by those words. Because if we are to accept thugs and lazy people, they should accept African booty scratchers.
Yeah,
That's the
that's fair.
easiest people part.
That's a fair
Right,
statement.
right. Because none of us are saying we're traumatized by an a black person from the continent of Africa or the Caribbean from calling us lazy or thug. But we have a lot of black brothers and sisters from the continent and the diaspora who are claiming to be traumatized by being called an African booty scratcher, not by an adult, by a kid. But that's another thing, Kwame. It goes back to that. Why are we comparing adults to kids? Like that's something the white supremacists do. Hey man, you did this. Yeah, but I was 10 years old. But you did it when you was 35. It's like you're fully mature. You're fully cognitive and educated and experienced in life that you knew that was wrong. But I was 10. I didn't know that was wrong. I did hey yo, do you know, bro? I used to fight ants at like 7, 8 years old. And sometimes I squeeze them too hard. And you know what I do next? I lick my damn fingers. That ant was sour as hell, bro. But I'm 8 years. I would have to as an adult, hell no. But at 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm fighting ants. I'm licking my fingers. I taste what ants taste like. They sour as hell. So I'm saying like it's a super reach for anybody to compare the actions of an adult to a damn elementary kid, bro. If an elementary kid shot you right now dead, bro, you'll be dead. And that kid will be detained in detention for 2, 3 years and free before you know it to live their life.
Right.
So I think so.
Or possibly juvenile life, like 7 years or something.
Right, yeah, exactly. So we see that as an issue, and you should too. It's like, yo, we can't compare a kid's action because I've never experienced somebody from the diaspora or the continent of Africa saying a high schooler or a grown adult called them an African booty scratch. I've never experienced anybody saying that as a 16, 15-year-old.
Would you say the more grown talking points would be like musty, you live in a mud hut?
Yeah, but that would be but okay. So now let's be clear and let's be real,
transparent.
Right. When you hear that be on the scenery, that be on the scene of back and forth. So the Africans saying something about us, we're saying something about them, right? So because you only hear that from Tariq Nasheed spaces, you don't hear that from like Yvette Carnell or more serious. Let's be real. Let's just be real. Like
you don't hear that from Yvette Carnell.
Nah, the musty thing, nah, hell no. Right. Again, all you gotta do is put the link. I let me know. I'll give you a wrench. Put the link in the chat. I know for a fact she didn't say that. Because don't forget, her and Tariq that she does not agree with each other. And she sees him as petty and he sees her as something. But her thing against Tariq is that he stoops to that level and she never will. Her and Tone talk. So that's why I know for a fact she's never done that. Because she is saying this is how
I hear Yvette all the time talk about Pan-Africanism is dead and
okay, now look,
she has like similar talking points.
Hey, bro, you got to stick to one thing. You're running now. When you went from like joking remarks that can be offensive. I'm not denying that. Musty, like those are offensive remarks, right? And then you're going into Pan-Africanism is dead.
Okay, we could go back to the joke.
You can't do that. Yeah, but we get to be done with it. But I'm just saying, Yvette Carnell and Dr. Clark Anderson, more serious people do not do the musty thing. That's normally, and nobody in the chat can deny that is normally from Tariq Nasheed led spaces. You're not gonna find that in spaces that's not led by him. You're gonna not, like I said, Dr. Clark Anderson, Yvette Carnell Tone Talks. You're not gonna hear the musty tether thing. She don't even use those words, bro. So that's not gonna happen, bro. So now, like I said, let's be honest. Forget about transparent. Let's be honest. Have an honest discussion. And again, like that is what she highlights when she disagrees with Tariq. She says he's petty, immature because he does that. So she expresses her disagreement with that type of approach.
Right.
But okay, so now fast forward into Pan-African. Now look, Pan-African is now. So now you're talking about something that's more opinionated. Like you could talk about democracy, you could talk about communism, you could talk about theocracy, you could talk about capitalism, socialism, communist. Like those are opinionated talking points. If you're pro it or anti, it doesn't make you a bad person. So for her to say that she's anti Pan-Africanist, like she's against that
Yeah, you're right.
ideology.
She got a right.
Doesn't
She
make
got
her
a right
bad.
to her
Yeah,
opinion. Yeah,
doesn't make
she
her
got a right to her
bad.
opinion.
He disagrees. And a person that agrees with it isn't bad either. Okay, I'm trying to.
You're right.
Somebody called in. How the hell? I'm outside. I can't see the sun out here, bro. Okay, I hope this.
Oh man, the sun is down in New York right now.
Oh yeah, y'all weather is trash. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Man.
Oh shit, is that IBM, man? I hope you ain't coming to derail the conversation.
Hello?
IBM caller, is your name
Hello?
IBM? Okay, my fault.
No.
I thought you were IBM. My fault. What's your name?
Cat 504.
Okay, you said Cat 504. Okay, yeah, my bad.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm a first-time caller.
Okay.
All right, but I listen to your show all the time. So this one we're gonna have more live and more activities on this channel, right? If I heard you right.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, look, I'm from New Orleans, man. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, man. And I had to laugh at when they was talking about African booty scratcher and the foods that they eating. We don't have no room to talk down here, especially in Louisiana, rural Louisiana, Mississippi, and stuff like that. They still do that, man. Eat raccoons. If they hit one on the street, they'll take it home and gut it. Right. They still eat alligator. That's nothing changed. Crawfish comes out of the canal and stuff like that in certain areas, and then they grow it and stuff like that. So we eat some questionable foods down here. So we have no room to talk. We don't even try.
Right. So now let me ask you this. Okay, 504. Have you ever heard? Just be honest. Have you ever heard or said the word African booty scratcher to somebody that's black?
I was called an African booty scratcher.
By who?
And I'm gonna tell you, by a black person. Listen.
Okay.
Down here in New Orleans, you got both sides of your black people, right? I'm a dog fella, right?
Okay.
And you also have dog fellas my color, and like I'm a Western Stripes dog, but they Native American, right? We had to so and they mix, right? So like growing up, they'll come. Well, I got descendants from slavery, right? So my people come from the cotton fields and stuff like that.
Right.
They would take pride in, look, my people was never enslaved, right? So and that's their thing, So he said, one dude, and it was just a joking thing, we were just ribbing each other and stuff like that. So they didn't pull that out, but I never got too offended by it. We play the dozens all the time in the United States. Hell, they got way worse stuff than that to be called. I don't know why they got so offended by that one, but that's only a small drop. A small drop in the bucket. You get jokes like, "Damn, you so dark. When you get in the car, the oil light come on."
I never heard that one. All right, so look, Kwame, I want you to understand, bro. So I can get it why a black person from Africa or the Caribbean would think it's about them because they're new to the school. You dig? But what he
and you gotta remember the culture is different. Like in Jamaica, there's no joking and stuff like that.
Okay, but I'm saying before you go there though, that's interesting. That's the culture different in Jamaica. But what I'm saying is, like what Kev pointed out was a fact. Like normally, if you were dark skinned, you were like pretty much joked on because I remember my two young homies in the back of my seat. I was driving, and the lighter dude started to have some dark skinned jokes for the dark skinned dude, and the dark skinned dude was kind of like quiet. He had no lighter jokes, and man, I cooked that lighter dude because I never played that, by the way. Like the whole dark skin thing, like the whole I never played that. So when he did that thing, I called the lighter dude. I don't know if you know about it, but I called him Yaku's grafted devil. I said, yo, let me get this. I said, let me get this. I said, you Yaku's grafted, like 400, you didn't make it all the way to 600 years. 400 recheck, throw off to the shit. You did, but I cooked them because I never played the colorism division joke thing. Especially dark skin. Like I always was protective of because I understood white supremacy had the dark jokes and and the lighter blacks would coon and repeat those talking points. So I always was like a defensive unit to some degree on different talking points. So if it was
can I just make this point real quick though? Like coming from the Caribbean, like the culture is a little bit different because there's no, like, I will admit that Black Americans have a little bit more thicker skin than probably the Caribbean and Africa, because we don't come from like a cracking jokes on each other. Like your mama type of joke that could turn into a killing.
That's part of our history, my brother. That's part of our history. We used to do that during the slave times.
I know that, but I'm saying like speaking from a Jamaican point of view, like coming from Jamaica, we don't have like those your mama jokes or you know them type of jokes. So when certain people may come up here and may interpret it as like a disrespect or something like that.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So we
never really had issues with Jamaicans at all, or Caribbean people, throughout our history. As far as I know, I'm in my 50s, so we never had that issue. Anything that was just, when someone said they was Jamaican, we respect it. We respect the culture of where you come from. And that's never been an issue with us, so I get that part, but a lot of people don't. When it comes to African and things like that, they come with a entirely different mindset. Like down here in New Orleans, we only have pretty much like little Mexican, but some Haitian immigrants, right, that came in after Katrina. That's different than the brothers in California, and they have to deal with El Salvadorians and gang stuff like that. So that's why I always like to keep my ear to the ground for FBAs, East, South, and West Coast, so because everything is a little different there, especially down here in New Orleans. Those people doing Mardi Gras, those people you see doing Mardi Gras that's dressed like Indians, those are real Indians. Those are not black people. I mean, but they're not, descendants of slavery, right? They only brought a small percentage of slaves here, and we kind of had a melting pot. Like my grandmother is a Cherokee Indian that was out there in Mississippi, out there in Hattiesburg, where you had Brett Favre steal the damn money. That's what they go to poor people. It's a melting pot.
So I could see and just like they may be trying to adopt the joking culture, so they may say cotton picker or something like that. That may be offensive to Black Americans, but they may be trying to adopt the joking culture, like how people say Africans live in mud huts or they're barefooted, musty, or they eat bush meat and bone in the lip. And even though that's just one specific tribe or two, they could maybe just trying to adopt the Black American culture of joking or like cracking jokes on each other.
I understand, but I get what you're saying. I get what like a Jamaican thing, but normally with anything else, it's usually you got to kind of mess with us on some kind of stuff for us to respond to you like that, and we'll go, put you in your place like that because you get some shady stuff. But I ain't never heard there's no issues with Jamaicans to me ever.
Right.
Well, period. Right. We don't have many Latinos. It's okay. We don't have many Latinos or anything like that down here, so we was always good. And from that, and that goes from Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way to the Carolinas.
Yes. So, hey, Kwame, what you got to understand, bro, that we don't have, and I'm gonna word it like this: we don't have a white supremacist ideology on y'all, like how some of y'all doing us. Because if you call us thugs and lazy, that is clearly from white supremacist propaganda machines. That ain't from no experience you ever had with us, or anybody from the continent had with us. Like that is clearly from white supremacist propaganda machines. To say we're lazy and thugs, So I have the difference. So like what Kevin's trying to say.
Would you say Tupac? Would you say Tupac is a blue icon?
Wait. Hold on.
But so is Bob Marley.
Right. Hey Kev, look. I'm saying. We're saying collective, right? So now, don't forget, a thug, an actual thug, it was created, right? Because white folks literally had zoning laws where they would not allow us to live in better societies, better homes, right? They banned us from doing better. So you had wealthy black folks pretty much marginalized in the ghetto, living amongst the worst in the neighborhood because they wouldn't let us spread, our wealth and live somewhere amongst them. So they said, no, we over here. No matter how much you make, you stay over. So if there was a Jay-Z in the 1910s, bro, he'll be living somewhere near the projects. Or Floyd Mayweather, they wouldn't allow him to live outside of that ratchet, impoverished environment. So thugs and poverty was literally orchestrated, handcrafted by white supremacists. And then you watch Soul City, you see Soul City was a planned city by the government. Richard Nixon had fundings for a black city to be planned and be prosperous, emulating Black Wall Street. And then what they do, white conservatives immediately start to attack it and say, hey, that's a separatist society. They're no better than Nation of Islam, and they put bad press on this planned program. This is one of 13. The other 12 are white. And they are still up to this day. But the bad press came on to us for no reason. And Richard Nixon
Can I ask you a question?
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, for the folks who don't know,
Right.
Richard Nixon administration backed this planned city for whites and blacks to create a suburban lifestyle. So they had one city preserved for black suburbans. And then Richard Nixon was peer pressured by conservative media to defund it. And they literally sabotaged it. So again, just stripping us from wealth or any type of Head Start or rehabilitation affirmative action, they stripped us from it and they started us back from zero again. They took all the money out and put us back in ground zero again, while the other 12 cities, Kev, were white funded by this government administration, and they also suburban right now. So all the white
you preaching to the choir with me with that.
Right, so all the white cities.
My grandfather was a farmer in Mississippi, right? And since the early 70s, right after, MLK and shortly after that had moved on, passed and everything, we lost 97% of our black farmers.
Damn.
Even to the point, even when they had the soybean scandal, the issue with China before, where they was going to have to subsidize the soybean seeds, right? Well, the blacks got bad soybean seeds. They was never able to go to market, and they've been doing that forever. And see, we can deep and sussing us out. That's how they took our land. When the people that ran the land and farmed the land, the family, they didn't know how to read. You knock off the mother and father, and then the bank help you take over the land. So we've been losing our farmers.
Right, and Kwame don't know that.
97%. Yes, 97%. So and see, this is the thing. We don't have the ability to feed ourselves with our farmers. And that was the whole
Ron, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Would you say that John Singleton or the Hughes brothers or Tupac are white supremacists?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, not at all.
But
why would you think that?
Because those would be like the movies that I would say the Africans would probably get their stereotype from, the Boys in the Hood, Medicine Society, Baby Boy. That's directed by black. We know that's entertainment. Yeah, we know Belly was entertainment. We know all that other stuff was entertainment. We also know the good entertainment too, like the Cosby Show and A Different World with black kids going to college that boost a lot of our kids to go to college. So we had different strokes, things like that. We understood that they changing the game now. We had different types and variety of music, including reggae, including Caribbean music, which was fine. It's just that every time a Caribbean artist jumped off, we was all over it. That's how they got rich. We was welcome. Shabba Ranks, I can go all the way back. Bob Marley set the tone in a peaceful tone. With that's y'all. That's not us. That's y'all. That's y'all. No,
so
I'm just trying to say, because Ron just said earlier that thugs and ghetto and like the ghettos is like coordinated by white people. but I don't think Africans is
But
getting there.
that's still you can't rule that that's entertainment though. I think could be because one Brenda got a baby, and then the other thing he got Thug Life. But at the end of the day, we know him as personally his mom and them was Black Panthers, and we knew what he was meant by starting a new generation of people, stuff like that, and educating ourselves. So we understand what he was about, and we understood the difference between entertainment and who he was as a person every day. That's two different things.
But what I'm trying to say is that Tupac was a global icon, and he kind of popularized the term thug. Like he has thug life across his stomach. So
yeah, but he also explained
would you say Tupac is a white supremacist?
No, he explained why he got thug like trying to cross his chest and what happened, and then people started listening to him more. You see what I'm saying? He explained that in his music, and respect him before that. He was saying the same words of Black empowerment and stuff like that. He was saying that before. Right now he's paying attention because he's a Black dude, and if he with thug on his chest, now everybody listening, and then you had white folks coming at him. We knew what it was already. We knew his first songs, and it was all about empowerment and lifting and stuff like that. I've seen his interviews since he was 16, 17, and we know his Oakland history, right? No different than Kendrick Lamar. That's why Kendrick Lamar took after him.
So that's what I'm asking. Would it be unfair? Would it be unfair for them to draw their conclusion based on the Hughes brothers or John Singleton or Tupac?
Well, personally, it doesn't really matter to us what other people think because we know what it is already. We don't have no problem explaining it. But so it's like actors like, well, that's like what somebody said. Well, white people might think like, I don't care what white people think. I know what it is. We know what it is. FBAs know what it is, right? We already know. We can even talk in a different language where I can barely say any damn words, and the guy knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a little different. But y'all right in there too, man. Jamaica's been around for long.
What I'm saying is the stereotypes go both ways. Like when people in Black America, when they first think of like Jamaica,
well, I guess it goes however you want to take it. I mean, they got some weak-minded people and that miss the message on everything. I mean, that's how I pretty much take it.
Right.
Right. So some people miss the message.
I'm just trying to say that
some people. I know the society call him a thug, or that when he shot, he used a arm against two officers before, so he was labeled as that in society. And he just rolled with it.
Right. So
as far as white supremacy and stuff like that, I don't really care, man. The way I see it, pretty much, I think they got 25% of decent white folks that don't have a problem with Black folks. I think there's another percentage, 25, that don't even know that they prejudiced or bigoted in some type of way because they was groomed with it. And then you have your hardcore racists, and there's a difference between real racists. I'm down here, so I know them. I've been around swastika racists, and I know them who don't like nobody, right? And like, I have to talk to one on one. I said, well, y'all worry about the wrong things, fella.
Ron, did you hear my question?
Nah, what was the question?
I was listening you talk about how basically white people's and white supremacy kind of structured the image of thugs and ghetto as a whole, as far as through redlining and or sabotaging different Black communities, i.e. Soul City or Black Wall Street and things like that. Would you call Tupac or John Singleton or the Hughes brothers white supremacists also that promote these movies or promote thug life to the masses?
No. So because you got something called movies, right? So when you already so it goes back to the few Black folks that actually bought their freedom and actually owned slaves, and treat their slaves no different than a white man. Okay, harshly, forced labor. It was a few percentage of Black owners who actually did that, FBAs who did that. Okay, so now these folks, that's all they know, right? So white supremacy bred them to and raised them to believe and this is the only way to survive in this country. So you can't really blame the victim for trying to survive by behaving that this is the only way to survive. So with the John Singletons and the Tupac, well, Tupac is a bad analogy because Tupac had two sides of him, right? He had a thug side, he had a the black woman's loss type side to him. So their mama. So he'll be the Brennan got a baby. He'll be the wrong example to use, more like maybe like a 50 Cent type of guy will be more fitting. But again, like I can't blame a victim. You know, they call it Stockholm syndrome. You know, if you kidnap a white woman and keep her for a couple months and then she wanted to rob banks with you, white folks call that Stockholm syndrome. So they don't blame the victim for taking on the behavior of the victimizer. So for the John Singleton to take on what the victimizer has been doing to us and basically prepared us to receive that type of abuse, because those movies were based on abuse, like black abuse, to even have an audience for black people, meaning that we were not in our right mind state. So he was wrong, and but I would be a little lenient on him because I understand the conditions that he was under to make a movie. Now,
so you can't blame him for promoting the stereotypes?
Well, like I say, he's a victim of the stereotypes. So now, if he was Chinese, doing that, then I'll be more harder on him. If he was anything other than a victim, right? Look at Cassie. Are you following the Diddy case?
Yeah.
Okay, but wasn't Cassie complicit in a lot of those free calls? She made phone calls, she hired folks, but they're saying she's a victim, so you can't, even though she participated, they're saying she's immune to the crime because she was a victim as well. So I look at John Singleton no way different. I looked at him as a victim participating in white supremacy.
Okay. So why can't the Africans get the same benefit of the doubt that they're just victims?
No, but they're not. They're not. To be a victim, okay. So if you ask a question, you got to be ready for the answer.
Pardon me for the last one. Explain why.
Okay, because Africans and Jamaicans were not here under Jim Crow laws, black codes, and they were not here doing serving a slave bid, and they were not here under the peonage system. They were not in the steel mills. They were not in the coal mines. They were not running to the north and the west during the Great Migration period because of white heinous, violence. So that's a different, right?
What you're saying none as a none period, or you just saying none as in like small quantity?
So Kev, so this is the problem I would have with Kwame and Tez's like him, dude.
I think they start coming in about the mid 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, of course. So now watch this. So I already showed him the percentage of foreign black people in this country during that time. They were like non-existent in the South. They were at that time. Oh, yeah. They were literally non-existent. Like they were, like think of a Northern Sentinel person in America. Like it's probably one or two, but it's so insignificant nobody even bring them up. So at that time, he's talking about the 1, 2, 20 foreign blacks. That was zero compared to 4 million black people who are being affected by this by this behavior from white supremacy and systemic racism. So yes, you're claiming 1, 2 people.
In the South, we don't have like Jamaican towns and in areas like that. Like
he doesn't know that.
East Coast at all.
I didn't know that until I moved down here. So I know you don't know that
at all. All through,
but I'm saying
of America, but
if they're ignorant of the history and
yes,
and the education as far as a whole, as far as redlining, because not even a lot of black Americans know about redlining or sharecropping.
Yes. Okay, look, brother. What you're talking about 20-year-olds, okay, 15-year-olds. Their mother does, and their dad does. Okay, so that's false. Their dad, their mother experienced what you're talking about, and they know from their mother and dad. So it's definitely been passed down. So now this 20-year-old, 15-year-old rebellious, crash out group, I don't know what's in their mind state. Okay, but So we're not gonna go to the extreme, but most Black Americans know what redlining is. They know what discrimination is, and they for sure know what racism is. If nothing else, they know it. Now they might not understand redlining. They might have heard it. They might not understand it, and they might not even understand what convict leasing is, brother, or the hiring out. They might understand these things.
Oh, they don't know what redlining is if you explain it to them, especially when they get to voting.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But
Right.
even voter suppression, if you say that, they don't know what that is. But if you just say Jim Crow or racism, they would know what that is. And they don't, like you said, Kev, they don't know that these fall in that. Okay. So Kwame, what you're doing is disingenuous. Now, what I can't do is say because of 3 Black Americans were in Jamaica and they got rights, right? Where they were not violated. You know, they had a good life in Jamaica. I can't say Jamaicans are now capping of a bad government or politics. I can't just say, nah, it's all good because these 3 Black Americans. No, that's not how that works, bro. We're talking about the masses, the significant group that matters, that represents the whole. So what represents the whole of Southern slavery is our Black Americans. We represent the whole. We represent the whole of the events of Southern slavery. No, not even white folks. There was Kwame. There was more white folks going through the same thing more than non-blacks. White Americans also were in coal mines, being forced in to steel mills. Yeah, but it's a small number.
Yeah, I know about the Yemen farmers and stuff like that. Yeah, I know about that.
Okay.
But,
but listen, but yeah.
No, you had the Irish too. You had the Irish. There was a
right,
big,
of course.
The
Irish would never sit here and act like, well, they're not a historian, will ever act like they experience what we experience because they are experiencing what they're experiencing because of us. Don't forget, like the stereotypes against darker people started with us. When the Irish got here, it was already lit. Right, so like, hey, who are you? All right, well, you're joining this Negro stereotype, campaign where we bash Negroes. So that's just a false comparison, false analogy that people do.
What I'm trying to say is, wouldn't John Singleton and the Hughes brothers have more of a authority position to put out a better outlook on Black Americans rather than the Nigerians
wait, Kev, real fast. Look, bro, Kev, I'm used to these conversations. Hey, Kwame, are you familiar with the LGBTQIA plus community?
Yeah.
Okay, if you are you heterosexual?
Of course.
Okay, so if you said the FAG word, right, anywhere, out loud at your job, social media, what would probably happen? Some type of condemnation, type of consequence, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now if a person part of that community who are living an alternate lifestyle, if they said it, will it hit the same? Will they be penalized?
Probably not to the extent of a heterosexual.
No, not at all. That's why Black Americans can say the N-word and nothing happens at a job. But if a white person or Hispanic said it, we could get them probably fired or in a meeting at the very least. So what I'm saying is, bro, when you're a victim of it, you're not condemned by taking on the behavior of the victimizer. You missed that when I said Stockholm Syndrome earlier. You missed that because you don't want to listen. You just want to rebuttal and argue.
I heard you with the Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay. So have you heard the expression hurt people hurt people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so brother, if a person was touched and they display that behavior, that person will be held more leniently than somebody who's never touched and exerted that behavior, right? Okay.
To some extent, yeah.
No, to all the extent that's considered in court. All right, see, hey, Kev, with this guy, you can't have a conversation. Hey, yo, if right now, the R. Kellys, the Diddy's, the Epstein's, when they go to court, some of their defense is, hey, I've been abused too. Because
they're taking it into consideration. They might not say they behind, but they're taking it into consideration.
Right.
You definitely want to say it.
It'd be more lenient. But if you say I've never been abused and I did this, you're going to be held more of a monster than a victim. So I keep saying to Kwame, dude, the victim is expected to behave like the victimizer, Kwame.
Okay.
Not the non-victim.
Right. Right. Just think about back
Because
in the day,
hurt
them
people,
they tried to
hurt people
they
hurt
tried to
people, bro.
buck break us for a reason. Back in the days, they tried to buck break us for a reason, right? And hopefully that mentality passed on. So did the Catholics,
Right.
the Roman Catholics. It was big with that, big with children and little boys.
So essentially, you're basically saying that the Nigerians, etc., they should educate themselves more on Black American history before having a synopsis on what they think is the overall outlook, right?
Well, I'm not saying essentially, but I'm saying essentially, bro, that it's never good to take advantage of a people disadvantages. Okay. So if you're
Right.
Nigerian and you come to America and you want to exploit Black people from their current condition, that's never a good thing. Even if you're FBA, it's not a good thing. So, but Kwame, what happens is that we look into the psychology of why a person will be a hurt to themselves. And that's why I keep saying hurt people hurt people. Black people in this country have been hurt. So when a John Singleton spring up and come with the same movies, that's considered a hurt person hurting back. Okay. Now the colonizer is not seen in that same light because he was never hurt like that. So when he comes and have these propaganda machines, Africans are cannibals and Hispanics are this, like he don't get any sympathy because like, yo, that's unwarranted. Like, yo, where does this come from? You just hate these people for no reason. So you look into the psychology.
Right. Look, like as far as as far as movie making and stuff like that, I worked in the industry for about 4 or 5 years. I worked on the show Queen Sugar. I was a stand-in actor for the guy Kofi Brown in Hollywood with the same shit, height and skin tone. That's how you do background. They have that was Oprah Studios that had that. They also have 50 was trying to open up a studio up in Shreveport. You also have one of the brothers that's opening up another one down here in New Orleans. See, that being, now you can tell your story. You don't have to go through you wouldn't go get funding like talking about. We are just starting to get to the point that we can tell our own story, direct our own movies. You know what I'm saying? So we still coming out. It's a slow process, but I still see progression in that. We ain't got to pay attention to what they putting on TV and stuff like that all the time anymore. We can go to some real old history stuff. Since they try to erase it, we can put it right back out there. Sinners was that's how it was in the 1930s, right? And that that my grandfather and them, we had outhouses and stuff like that when I was a kid, and they had juke joints. So those kind of things, and you could tell a story and you can send the message that we want to send. Nobody can tell our story but us. And we just not really getting to put it out there. So, we can go to, Tupac and the other guy and stuff like that. Those are just one or two little spots on the bigger spectrum, and we starting to move forward on that, right? Because as soon as we get out, FBA start putting their thing out, everybody gravitate to us, right? So if we could put our own thing out and we go, because my biggest fear is our kids don't know our history well enough yet. So now they need to get it refreshed on that because things will change in America again. It's going to change. And Trump kind of announced that when he got in, and we knew what that meant. We knew exactly what he meant when he was talking about immigration. You're like, okay, well, Trump, them white folks go send all of y'all. So, and I got a friend of mine, he's Jamaican, and he did a year, and I think he did like 6 months for, got caught with some of his medication. And that was like 10, 11 years ago. But his name on paper, you know what I'm saying? He can't just stack your money up, man. They got to prepare for that because we know what's going to happen. We knew that already. Now they bringing in South Africans and stuff like that, and we keeping a close eye on Trump too. And it ain't like we just for him like that, but I'm damn sure against the illegal immigration. That's messing it up for all of y'all, everybody else. We ain't had no issues until the Democrats tried to flood the damn market. So we got to pull back, to our own, and y'all been around for a minute. So hopefully everybody good on this end, and let him deal with the illegal immigrants. because they ain't gonna stop doing it. This is only the first few months. This got to go on for years. It's gonna go on through this whole thing. They want, what is it, 20 million? They want all of them out. The ones with expired visas, they want them out. Anybody protesting against the small curly hair people and stuff like that with Palestinians, they're gonna put you out. They don't care about that. You don't, all that other stuff. El Salvadorians and stuff like that. MS-13, he declared war, a state of emergency. That gives him like a lot of power. That's almost like wartime. Got the troops on the border. So that's why I tell you, one, you shouldn't travel at all if you're not from here. Definitely that. But we knew that all that was gonna happen, so we kind of sitting back and watching everything unfold. You know, my only issue is like he's messing with the Smithsonian. Now we can't mess with our history. That's when we got a problem. But one thing is, I've seen an interview. I forgot the other guy's name, but they interviewed Ice Cube recently in his plan for Black America with Dr. Claude Anderson and Liv Cornell West and some of the top. I want to see what they're going to do with that. You remember that the Republicans picked that up. The Democrats refused to even look at it. And so I want to see what come out of that, because all we need is reparations, a crime.
What did the Republicans? Sorry to interrupt. What did the Republicans pick up?
They interviewing Ice Cube and the plan for Black America, right? Which Ice Cube presented to both the Democrats and the Republicans a while ago. Yeah, I know you remember that, brother. Remember they had a big old deal about that. But the Republicans took it and read it the last administration when they was in there. The Democrats never took it when Biden was getting there, and they completely ignored it. So now they're doing more interviews with, Black Americans now, because we got to present what we looking for. We're not getting nothing on this end. We're getting a whole lot of votes and nothing. DEI don't help us. All that kind of foolishness there. So that's why we're moving away from that. And I started moving away from that after Obama, when we ain't getting nothing done. And when you tell us, when you sit up there and say, what are you doing? I ain't going to do nothing for Black people, specifically for Black people. No, that's all I need to hear. But you think all this protesting, marching, and beatings and all that kind of stuff since the King days and X days and Panther days was for? It's the same thing. They just changed the narrative. We're still acting for the same couple of things. Reparations, equality, and pretty much leave us alone. And we good. But American society don't want to do that.
Right. I hope that's one of the issues that Ice Cube do bring up is reparations.
Right. That's all we ever ask for. When you ask people, okay, even with our politicians, I got a major problem with our politicians. We got too many corrupt politicians that's going for the bag, or APAC owns their butt. We got New Orleans. I lived in an 80% Black city. We don't have no Black businesses. We only have one now on the money-making areas in New Orleans with 80% Black folks. Same thing in some of these dang gone cities, and they're going to crash out for the immigrants. That's crazy. I think we need to push to get more governors so we don't have situations like in Mississippi, where the governor they've been with $77 million and none of them went to the people it was supposed to go to. They've been doing that for generations and decades. The government money never got to the poor people or the people, the numbers and stuff like that. Those are the things that FBA still got to fight with. I don't give a damn what a Nigerian thing. If they, good for them. If they got a better education, when you go. We don't care about that. We're on another mission. We still got little dudes getting shot and hung.
Right.
So, and I'd be damned that this little Black dude in Texas that stabbed the white boy, he better not go to jail. I'll come out there for that. Because we had Martin, and that was right here in New Orleans. A guy bumped into an NFL player. I think his last name was Martin. He played for the Jets. You can Google it and stuff like that. And he got out and went to the car. The white dude shot him and won a self-defense case. And the South is different. We can carry ours in our car on the seat. That's not an issue. Same thing, they had situation, in Florida. The guy went in the store, white guy goes cussing out and fussing at his old lady because the way they was parked, he came out and pushed the white guy shot him. And won that self-defense case. This boy bet not go there if these two big 6'4", big-ass white boys wind up handling them or sneaking them after you told them leave them alone. Okay, well, damn. You didn't want to fight? You didn't want to get into that? You can't win that? That's fear. So you got a lot of groups.
You went out, brother.
Oh man, he waiting on you.
Hello?
He waiting on you.
Yeah, I don't know why my phone just went out.
Yeah,
Can you repeat the last thing you just said? Hello?
Yeah, no, he went out. He went out.
Okay. So I don't think we really disagree on much about as pertaining to, I would say, the propaganda or the media coverage. Maybe both sides need to educate themselves on both culture and know
it's not. It's okay, Kwame. I mean, it's not rocket science, bro. If I was to move to, let's say, you know how Burkina Faso looking for help. If I was to move there, bro, what I wouldn't do is talk about the coups that came by. I had that, like, their cool culture. Like, yo, these coups, that's wild. Y'all keep taking over. That's what say. This would be saying what they got at Kwame. Like, for you to act like we don't have no legitimate argument, no real complaint is like beyond us. So we're listening in like disbelief. Okay, so look, had we come over to Burkina Faso to help security, to help
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, my brother.
Yeah, nah, you good, King.
Yeah,
Ron, you had went out. I ain't hear you last time.
So Kev, let me say this final thing. Kwame, if I want to go help Ibrahim Touré, okay, I'm helping. Now obviously I did nothing to. I'm no reason why the country is rebuilding. I'm no reason why they got security team. I'm no reason why nothing. I'm just there as a visitor, seeking an opportunity, right, to be great. Like kind of how a lot of black folks come over here as non-FBA. Just an opportunity, right? But they did nothing to create that opportunity. They came over here as a guest, no problem. Now, what I'm not going to do is start criticizing their past governments, their past leaders. I'm definitely not going to regurgitate the propaganda the French said about them. In that Channel 24 news, what Ibrahim Touré resents. He hates it. He calls it a white supremacist propaganda machine. He hates the 24 French media and something else. He hates them. He said these are ops. This media is ops of Burkina Faso. They paint us paint a bad image. They represent us and misrepresent us in the worst way. Okay, so now if I went over there and started to make movies similar to the French, or if I seen a Burkina Bay disrespecting Burkina Bays, right? That's not a pass. Well, Burkina Bay's doing it, so let me come do it. That's disrespectful. I'm not Burkina Bay, so they're not going to tolerate me the same way they tolerate their own, because they kind of understand the psychology of their own doing it, because they're probably defeated, traumatized, all types of stuff going on. Stockholm syndrome, a lot of things why this Burkina Bay person is borrowing talking points of the French. But for me to come from America over there and borrow talking points of the French and exploit the Burkina Bay, no different from this weirdo, John Singleton Burkina Bay, that's not justified. There's no excuse. That's horrible. What I'm going to come over there and do is represent myself as a foundation Black American, and I'm going to represent excellence. I'm not going to exploit no Burkina Bay. I'm going to speak truth to power, and whatever I got going on is going to be representing or reflective of just that. Any business, any media, anything I do, any influence is going to be black excellence. I'm not going to exploit Burkinabés the way the French would do, or any psychotic Burkinabe guy with an agenda. That's what we're not going to do. So when they come over here, when we have black folks come over here and do that, no, that's unacceptable on all levels, and there's no justification for that. You can't say, well, look at John Singleton. Okay, but what that got to do with you? Okay, look, is John Singleton right? No. So why are you doing it? Why would you be wrong? Who's saying he's right? At the end of the day, whatever excuse I give him, he's wrong. So why are you wrong like him? How about be right? Do the right thing. Like the movie. Do the right thing, Spike Lee. I'm going mute.
I mean, you got a point, but it kind of worked both ways when people had never been to Nigeria or these type of places, and they say, oh, yeah, they live in mud huts and things like that. So
we don't speak about Nigeria too much. Yeah, I can't let you do that, bro. We don't. Well, foundation Black Americans, we don't say again, bro. You're talking about a space where these guys are retaliating. Okay, so you're comparing debates, like debate spaces, to the average thought of a foundation Black American, and I think that's very disingenuous.
So what's the? Can you give me the percentage of Africans that come over here and undermine Black Americans? Because from what I heard, you just talking about people that's in government official
the
jobs,
most powerful
like
position. Right. That matters the most, my boy. I wouldn't care about 100 Nigerians on social media talking about foundation.
Can
Black
I say something on that?
Huh?
So would you agree Michael Langley is in a powerful position?
Yeah.
A position of power?
Yeah.
But his talking points is similar to the French that Ibrahim Traoré is undermining.
You're talking about a war official. Dude, what are you talking about? Okay, dude, this is not a regular guy looking for citizenship and trying to create a better life. This is a war general. It's speaking in terms of war. You know, like you kill me. That's totally different than somebody who just talking trash on the internet or in a position of power, undermining a people they don't have no knowledge of. That's totally different. We're talking about war. Like, okay, so when you talk about when you talk about Burkina Faso in America or France, bro, all we don't know what's, listen, bro, we don't know what's fact or fiction. All we know is that this media is saying this person saying that. We don't know what's fiction, factual. We just going on media, right? What's being said, what he's saying, what Putin is saying, what America is saying, politicians, what the French is saying. All we know is that it's a lot of political warfare. We don't know who's actually right or wrong. Like nothing has been disclosed to that degree. All right, so that's totally you're stretching it again.
So you're saying the majority of Africans is against Black Americans getting reparations?
Now, I don't even know.
Let me say this.
Let me answer this question real fast. I'm gonna go on mute for a second, and you guys can talk for a whole hour. But I wanted to say to Kwame, okay, I need you to watch our discussions back, bro. Watch them back. You keep saying the word all. I never said all. Kev File 4 never said all. Bro, nobody's saying all. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying when Black immigrants come over here, the ones who I'm speaking to is not the yous, right? The you people, you. I'm talking about the ones who get in position of power to take power from us or parrot the talking points of white supremacists to justify the brutality or laws being coming into existence or laws taken out of existence. We're talking about that. The DJ academics that get on here and talk about old news and resurrect it to now is current news, the whole Chirac thing. We're talking about the Myron Gaines who are saying Black folks are just making excuses to be failures. We're talking about current guys with platforms with 1 million subscribers. They got the ear of Black Americans, by the way. Okay, we're not talking about Kwame. We're talking about people who are in powerful seats of media, the Shade Room. You dig? Q from Love and Hit, World Star. People who keep consistently portraying Black Americans in the same scope of systemic racism or scientific racism. So, like, where are the documentaries of these academics shade room of black folks being great? Where's the Black Wall Streets? Where are we fought in the Civil War, we overcame. Where are these things? Like, at least make it even. At least make it like you said, a balanced diet. At least provide some balance to it. Why is it always we're on the negative side of talking points? And again,
but are you saying that all academics do is promote black degeneracy in America?
yes, bro, all of what he did. I don't know if you follow him or not, but I watch him. I follow him. I was a subscriber. Okay, all he did was talk about rat beefs, beefs this, beefs that, beef meals, bro. just name, bro. Again, my ears in tune. All right, I don't know who you think I am, but I know.
So he don't uplift guys like Playboy Cardi.
Okay, no, yeah.
Uzi Vert.
Degeneracy, bro. Playboy Cardi is a fake thug, and he's a degenerate in behavior. So no, don't lift up a degenerate as though black folks need to model ourselves after him or look up to him. No, don't uplift a degenerate. Okay, that's rapping on.
Okay, I can use. I can use. All right.
I mean, listen, you had your chance. You said Playboy Cardi. A guy raps about selling
but
drugs.
I didn't even finish. I was going to talk about.
It doesn't matter. Also covering. No, but look what he represents though. Degeneracy. He raps about drugs, uses, drug selling, murder, and all type of foolishness. And you're talking about uplift. Why would we want to uplift a fucking that guy? Why would we uplift him?
But he also platformed Tariq Nasheed for a 2-hour interview that I haven't seen any white media do coverage on to fully expound what FBA is.
Hey, bro, listen. That doesn't even that doesn't even it out, man. You can't do so much wickedness and then get one righteous thing on there and say, hey, we're even now. That's not how that works, my boy. I can't abuse. Look at Diddy, right? Isn't he on trial? It wasn't R. Kelly locked up, wasn't Bill Cosby. These guys can't be on record. Look at Deshaun Watson. These guys can't be on record for abusing hundreds of people. And then you name one person he did right by and say, hey, man, acquit him. No, dude.
But he's not undermining. I don't see academic undermining Diddy, or neither is Myron Gaines. They actually speaking up for Diddy.
But why? Yeah, that's the problem. Another degenerate. Why are we behind? Okay, bro. Here's the problem. You're showing who you are, and it's a bad representative of Jamaica as a whole, and which Tiger people know. You're talking about siding with people who we actually think is guilty.
So you think Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking and RICO charges? Okay,
brother, there's a lot more he's being charged with. It's not those two things. What are you talking about, bro? He's charged with kidnapping.
Those are his 3 charges. Wait. I don't know any other charges.
No. You're not following. We don't trust your research, okay? We know you're an idiot to this, because if I question, you're not going to know what's going on. Okay, first of all, you don't watch academics. Okay. Academics is actually covering this. Hey, brother, is Diddy charged with kidnapping? Yes or no?
No, he's not charged for kidnapping. He's charged for RICO.
Okay. Now look,
sex trafficking and
Kev, this is a piece of shit lie, because you know what RICO is. RICO is a bunch of charges coupled into one, and it's called a RICO. And part of that is kidnapping, because he did, when Cassie went to leave, you dumb Negro, he did beat her down, grab her by her head, and drag her back home. By definition, that's called kidnapping. Of kidnapping, you liar.
He's not charged for kidnapping or gun charges that they found in his house.
That is wait. Okay, look. Okay, now chat. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna crash a little bit. This dude is a buffoon and an idiot. So now, what I know about law is that you can go after something hard, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they feel that argument crumbling, they would go to a lesser charge like kidnapping, you dumb nigga. They do that. When they feel the RICO's crumbling, they'll drop that and then go to kidnapping and have the juror decide on a lesser charge like kidnapping. Okay.
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 I understand that, but he's not being charged for kidnapping.
No. Wait. First of all, that's on the table, and don't forget what I'm addressing. I'm addressing you saying they stuck up for a guy who's actually guilty of some criminal bullshit. So don't escape that. He did kidnap on video. So speaking
Tariq Nasheed is also speaking up for Diddy.
No, slow down. So speaking up for a kidnapper is more to my point, not yours. Okay, so now what he should have been doing is covering Tyree Nichols' case about how 3 black officers got off and brutally beat this guy down and got acquitted for state charges.
Right.
Now, that is
Right.
something that impressed me. If these guys spoke on that, say, hey, man, look at this bullshit.
All 3 of the cops got off on that.
Yeah,
shit.
so justifying a kidnapper isn't black culture, my boy. We don't
Right.
respect or protect kidnappers at the very least. So you got
anything dealing with children or anybody or elderly people, we got no tolerance for it.
Right, or even beating up.
Did he not charge for touching no kids?
Yeah, I don't care what did he out there in Hollywood and live in a Hollywood world. That's an isolated incident. That's a drop in 41 million of us. That ain't even news to us. That ain't moving us at all.
Right.
That's just entertainment. Right? He put himself in that spot.
Yes.
Right.
But you embarrass yourself by saying they're sticking up for a guy who's actually guilty of some criminal offense. Why don't you defend people who are actually innocent? Like, for example, how about the black guy who got recently locked up? I don't know what he is. He could be Jamaican, African, or Black American. But the guy, the teams that I'm gonna do a lot of this separately. The teams play some knocking. They claim a knocking joke at his door at 3 a.m. in a state where the castle doctor is in full effect. So they're kicking his door down, right? This ain't what we did, what we call ninja knocking. Like they're kicking his door down at 3 a.m. at a state where you have the castle doctrine. I could come out blasting. So he come out blasting, he kills him, and all of a sudden he's locked up for murder. And they're saying, "Oh no, they was playing a joke." Wait a minute. How does he know? Wait, you're kicking his door down violently at 3 a.m. When is that a joke? That's a threat. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the joke. I'm gonna sit here unarmed. Hey guys, what are you doing? Oh, it's the real thing, baby. Oh, let me get my gun. No, if you're kicking my door down at 3 a.m., I got the right to protect myself and my family with my gun. You're at my doorstep. This is the castle doctrine. But Kwame, he gets locked up for murder. Now, by the way, if the kids were black and the man was white or Chinese, that man would be seen as a hero defending his family against these ruthless thugs.
Right. Right.
So speak on those stories, not R. Kelly or Bill Cosby or Deshaun Watson, these controversial Diddy things. Speak on where we're completely innocent and we're still being railroaded, like the guy that defended his home or Tyree Nichols' family. So we're saying speak on that stuff. I'm going to go on mute.
Yeah. You got to look at a book called Without Sanctuary, right? They got all the whole history and stuff like that, and it gets deep, and that's a lot of stuff that people that come to the country don't they don't get it, they don't feel it, and they don't realize how savage some of these people are when they would sell body parts and cut off ears and stuff and keep them as souvenir and fight over it and give it to their children. They came for that. That's savagery. That's them. That didn't change. That did not change. Right. That's savage. When you're cutting off, personal parts and stuff like that, and that's savage. They still like that. I'm down here. I know it. We still know what it was doing, hanging off the bridge. They still there. They didn't have a change of heart. Trust me. Right. You ain't see one Klan outfit turned in or something. They still have them. They still teach their kids that. Right? There's a certain group that does that. Right? And that ain't going nowhere. So a lot of people will sit up here with, well, we needed 2025. Hey, those people don't change. They don't want to change. We got a lot of Germans down here. Strictly German. And so like one guy just asked me the other day, like, well, he's from West Coast. He's like, do they have a lot of I said, no, that stops with Louisiana and stuff. And immigrants really don't want to go to Mississippi and Alabama in those kind of woods. That's different. That's a different type of white folks, right? So they don't like you at all. They get a little bold when they got a little crowd, but that's what we've been on. The same thing like you've seen in Alabama at the dock. We've been waiting on that. And we always been set from that since we was able to defend ourselves since the 70s. That's our thing. But this is what I wanted to tell you about, what I consider me personally a tether is. Academics I'm just naming some people. Candace
What would make?
hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you know, I think there's someone who may undermine black, you know, what we trying to do. Undermine our stride to the things that MLK, X, Black Panthers, and black people marched and fought for. When they undermine our reparations, cash payments, and so on and so forth, and we can't even get a damn crime bill in. When they undermine those things, you're tethered to me. That's to me personally.
So undermining gay rights is would be considered a tether too.
No, gay rights ain't had nothing to do with that. You know why? Because as long as gay, they gonna be on. I'm talking about FBA and black folks, right?
What I'm trying to say,
if they undermine it and they're not from this country, they're tethered to me. If they undermine it from this country, you're just a sambo to me then. And you're not on the path. And it's not a bad thing. Hold on, let me finish telling you. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me just ask you one question. Let me just ask you one thing. Are you familiar with Bayard Rustin?
No.
Bayard Rustin is one of the leaders of the civil rights movement that fought for gay rights as a black American.
Okay. So he falls under FBA?
And he's covered.
He's covered. He's covered. We got FBA push you politically, so he's covered.
No, he's a black American. He's a black American. He was the organizer. But if the organizer of the civil rights movement.
Hey, Kwame, listen, this is your problem, bro. Yeah, you don't know how to have a intellectual dialogue. So the brothers asked me very clearly, okay, by doing that, is he undermining FBA agendas? And you're not answering the question. You're trying to sidestep it. Okay. First of all, I'm. Hey, Kwame.
Go ahead.
Listen, let me say. I'm gonna save you some time. Gay rights. There's no race attached to gay rights. It's a choice of lifestyle. Okay. So he ain't talking about a choice of lifestyle. He's talking about an ethnic group, a race of people who are being deprived because of their history in this country and their color. Okay, so he's not talking about.
What you doing, my brother, is you doing exactly what they do on the media. Right. They try to put LGBTQ stuff in our push for equality and reparations and stuff like that. When people do that, you undermining what we've been fighting for all these years. Right?
I'm just pointing out.
Hold on, let me finish. All right, I got you. You understand what I'm saying? So, but if he's black, he's covered under that. So anyway, so we fight for him too, whether he's against it or not. Even the Sambos that are against reparations, that's from this country, that's FBAs, we're fighting for them too, whether they like it or not. But the ones that's trying to stop us, like the Caribbeans, like Candace Owens and stuff, and they'll tell you they don't think we should get it. And the reasons why they don't want their tax dollars to come. But you here because of us.
Okay.
Right? So you don't want to show no damn love? Okay, well, I paid taxes for 20 years. Okay, well, damn, that's rent. You can't show no love? You seen what we fought for? You seen us getting our behind, our ass bust on the street? That's how you got here. When they start letting the Europeans in, we say, well, hey, let some of them white Haitians in. I mean, black Haitians down here in. Why you beating them on the damn shores and you got all these Cubans in? Well, go ahead, so we try to make it like for everybody, but they come and they turn on us, but that's cool. So if you turning on us or you feel like, then they'll tell you flat out. Even academics.
But that's not the majority. That's not the majority, brother. You talking about a small group.
Listen, when the Caribbeans that do that with big platforms and microphones, you hurting our cause. So you just you're tethered to me. Right,
are you saying that academics is against reparation?
Yeah, I heard him talk about it. Yes, he said that. He had it too.
100%.
Yes, I can't. I'm on my phone, so but I can tell you that.
No, hey, Kev, I got him. I can. All right. I clip everybody again. Kwame, unlike you, I'm a real researcher. So when I talk about, I know and I clip it. I got him. I played on my channel before. I played him already. I already played him, bro. I clipped that. Yes. He's a tether, 100%. Okay,
Well,
now,
when I heard him talking to Tariq
I,
Nasheed, I didn't hear him push back on reparations. I heard him support reparations.
okay, no, because you don't even know what we're asking for and what he is saying that's different from us. Okay, that's another thing, bro. You've shown all of us are human, so we're gonna make mistakes in research. I do it all the time. Okay, but you do it more than you should. Okay, so now before you make that claim, you got to say, hey, I don't really watch him that much, but from what I heard of, because he haven't really spoke of it too often, by the way. Now, Kwame, I try to warn you, I'm coming from a guy who used to watch academics all the time. On my channel, I big them up all the time. On my channel, Kev, I bigged up academics all the time. I said, watch them. So you're talking about a guy, a supporter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kwame, I'm a guy who's been watching him for the longest. Okay, I mean, not super long, but for the last couple of years, I've been like, and I'm talking about like all of his lives. I was into that until he disrespected FBAs. I was done with him, and I unsubscribed, whatever. But he is. I got the live. I clipped it. I played it on my channel where he's against what we're doing for reparations. Yes.
What's the title of that video so I can check it out?
Okay, it's a video. It was a Fat Joe video. It was when Fat Joe was being called out.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, so he did. So you see how quick I can get you. It's a Fat Joe live where he was when we were coming at Fat Joe for the N-word. He did a live on that. He spoke about FBAs and reparations very briefly. But I clipped it though. I got it. You don't got it, but I got it.
Okay. So are you familiar with the interview he did with?
Wait, and listen, I can go to the same. I can go to the same people. Candace Owens against it too. She's a Caribbean. My thing with academics, her people. She's born here, but her people are.
She.
To my understanding.
No, she's both.
Half.
No, she's both.
Yeah,
she's SBA. She's SBA too.
Okay. All right. Cool. But even with academics. Okay, well, why when someone's like that are born here, whatever, but they got that Caribbean background, well, why you all in our business, bro?
Yeah, but
why you in black folks business? Why you in FBA business like that? You made your whole career off that.
Kwame, so ask your question.
Talk about your people. Don't talk about ours.
Okay, I want to get the question out. So, what was your question about Tariq Nasheed and DJ Academics, Kwame?
Okay, I had watched that interview. He did a two-hour interview with Tariq Nasheed, and they went over a lot of topics, hip hop, reparations, the definition of FBA, and basically certain bullet points. And he was basically supporting reparations. So that's why I'm trying to.
No, he wasn't supporting reparations, and he definitely was not supporting. See, Kwame, yeah, bro, I don't know what's in your brain. I don't know what's depriving you for certain information. Hey, bro, reparations is when people hear reparations, especially black folks, they think it's for everybody that's black. So of course you're like, yeah, I'm down with that. But he is not down for delineation because he spoke against it during the Fat Joe live. So, dude, you gotta stop misinforming us. He was against delineation. So FBA is all about delineation. I'm sorry, reparations and FBA, but reparations is all about delineation, bro. No matter if you hear from
but Tariq laid that point out and told him to his face that you're not eligible for reparations. He still supported it.
Okay. So watch this. So Kwame, you're in the pickle because then why did he come against it later during the Fat Joe live?
Well, I wasn't aware that I'm ignorant to that point of view.
You don't got to be aware of it. I'm saying if you're for something in somebody's face and you're against it behind their back, yeah. Where your shoes at? Downstairs. Okay, go get them. My mom is.
Well, if I was aware that, I wouldn't even bring it up.
No.
If I was aware that.
It's not about, so you trying to bring it back to you. Not about what you're aware of. I'm saying if somebody was for something while they're there in their face, and then when they leave, they're against it, are you really for it?
Probably not, or probably ambiguously. I don't know.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to mute. Support, bro. I don't know how you support, but support. Going to mute.
Okay. Kaz. So who else who else is undermining Black Americans? Kaz, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was thinking about they got a congressman, the Republican black guy. I think his people, you know, like first generation of Americans, regardless of their color, in my mind, if you're not on a team, or you know our history and stuff like that, and what we fought for, those same three things, and you against that, I don't care who you are, even if you are American. We just got to go around and just keep on pushing. And for those that came to this country like that, that's like, I pay my taxes. No, I don't believe that you're good. You pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Well, you sound like they do. Okay, so we still got to push for that and get some better representation for what we need. Right? We addressed everybody damn issue, but our own has been addressed since the damn 60s. We got the right to vote, and we got to integrate. That's it. Other than that, we ain't getting nothing else. With all the people, you could imagine how it was before they have body cams and stuff like that. That still goes on, even with cameras live. They beat the dude to death, shootings to death. So it's the same thing over and over. So okay, well, everything else, when the DEI, that's a distraction. Okay, we're not even benefiting from that. We coming last. The women coming, Latinos come before black women and getting jobs, even gay white men. You know, got white guys and stuff, and that kind of stuff. They always change the narrative when it comes to what we want. And our thing is the same three things: some kind of reparations, leave us alone, and maybe a crime bill. And then we can redo everything like we was doing before. We can generate our own business and stop cutting into our stuff, you know, keeping us from growing. That was the government doing that the whole time. That's why we lost 97% of our damn farmers. That kind of stuff. So when people come in, they don't understand that, and they think we just lazy. Well, y'all had the opportunity all this time. No, they undercut everything. People know Black Wall Street. They don't know the other 21 other places all the way up into the 1970s that they destroyed. Mississippi Masala, stuff like that. That actually happened. Rosewood, that happened. Not including during Hurricane Katrina, they tried to flood out the Lower Ninth Ward again. They do that. They did that in New York. They did that in Michigan. They flood out the black areas. That's nothing new. And y'all think, and if you don't understand why we got a problem with you not even trying to help a nigga. Okay, well then.
I mean, you can't say.
I mean, what else is there? That's what we stand on.
You can't say everybody because there's
I ain't saying everybody. Nobody's saying everybody because they got black folks that don't believe in it too. So, but that to me, and then if you came here, then okay, well then that's our issue. Okay, and then we got people throwing that in, and we got people in powerful position and ALPAC controlling they don't even say that on regular news no more. That's controlled. Right? They don't say reparations no more. Right? They stop saying illegal immigrants. Right? You know, and in the main news, and we know who control that. So a lot of these people I don't even respect because they ain't gonna ever push a black narrative. Now that they hear us, now that they had to come to online, now they hear the people's voices now. Now you got a caucus up there now, a group of black, the sister with the bald head, starting a reparations thing. No, we already know what we want. See, they're trying to get in on that, so we got to do all of that because they come up with their narrative.
So
and we don't want we go get some educational grants and all that. No, we want some cash payments and some other residual, just like the Native Americans got. We need that too, and the FBA's got. Wait, listen to it. FBA's got black Americans that didn't get what red Americans got as far as reparations. Then they still getting it.
So essentially, regarding reparation, Caribbeans and Africans should mind their business regardless if they support it or don't support it.
Well, yeah, I got an issue with that. You know, that's my personal thing. Okay, well then I know people that don't believe in it. Y'all ain't gonna get that. Okay, well this is what we fought for. All right, what else you think King X, all of them fought for was the same thing. And now you bailing on that, and you getting your vote for what? You ain't getting nothing. Can we get something out the vote? Kamala gave Indian businesses, Indian the country businesses, $32 billion for their businesses, and open up the Freedmen's Bank. And the black farmers just got two, and they got to split it with immigrants. See, that kind of foolishness that the government doing all this, and that's what keeping us down. So that's what we on, man. So I don't care what the Nigerians say and all that, and you know, the old dating relationships thing. Okay, well look, we on another mission. I got kids. My grandfather brought this in. My uncles had a Panther frame of mind. Black folks had the same frame of mind down here that you saw in Alabama on that dock. They don't you can vote a black person in the office as a mayor. They say now for generation we assign a mayor to your area. No, they just they locked the black dude out as a mayor in Alabama, Mississippi, I think it was. Right? And they had to, you know, because they put their cousin as mayor. No qualifications or nothing. We still got problems with Brett falling them with the water in Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson. They divert the good water up to them. And all those federal funds is because Mississippi is half black, half white now. Right? But both sides in poverty. They got some broke ass white folks there. Right? But the government is stealing the damn money. And
right.
Now you still don't see Brett Favre, all those governors, none of those people get arrested. That's what the white supremacy. Yeah, that put a foot on us. They still got to get the water.
But what does Brett Favre got to do with Caribbeans or Africans?
Well, nothing. I'm just saying that's how it is here in the South. That's what we're working on, right? And so when you undermine what our push is for that kind of equality, because we still down here in the South, a lot of black people here, man.
So what?
And then you got the West Coast.
What Caribbeans or Africans in Louisiana or Baton Rouge or New Orleans is undermining reparations for Black Americans?
Well, I'm just talking about people with platform. If people do that, no, I haven't come across people like that, but I have come across one. I didn't even bring that up. That's just one dude that is anecdotal down here in spots because they don't have many people that's not from here. Unless you get down to Florida and you got some Cubans and some Haitians and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm not aware of no Haitians in Florida that's trying to undermine Black Americans.
Well, I'm not saying they are, man. I'm just saying the people that we have issues with. That's what's holding us up. That's what's holding us up for wherever they are. Whoever they are, whatever platform.
So are you?
If they're not with that, my question is simple. Even with white folks, do you agree with even my personal friends? You agree with that? Some of them agree with that. Blacks should get reparations. A couple of them don't. Well, then let me know where you at.
Right.
That means you limited. For some reason, you got a problem with it. Even though they're from here and you've been here, you've been around people, you know the history, you know the good, the bad, the ugly, because we the only two that got that kind of history together. Right? The FBAs and white folks for the most part. But you know that, y'all know that, and you still don't think you knew you profited from it all that. You knew even your good, with all the benefits that came with that, off the free labor. We're in Louisiana, they still digging ditches and working in Home Depot with cheap labor for the prisoners, and y'all don't think we should get nothing?
Nah, I support reparations.
Right. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. That's what I had to tell them. So when they tell me that, they let me know a lot about them.
Yeah, I just think it's unfair if some French Africans or some French Caribbeans that's under white supremacy and they don't support reparation, that you should lambast the whole continent or a whole community from the islands as okay, we shouldn't. Yeah,
but if it look like they got a habit of it, and we got Africans coming over here for years, and now why are you talking about us? Why are you worried about us? That's what I don't get. If they got anything to say, not any one word about FBA's Why you worry about us? You have a whole homeland. I thought the traditional thing was to do if you was an African to come here, get a job, become a doctor, get your education, send your money back home so you build your homeland up.
Right.
Okay, that's it.
That should always be
Why you worried about us? We're not worried about y'all. They're not even a second thought. I just explained to you what's on our mind. We can't worry about them.
So what about Black Americans that cheering on Michael Langley to steal African resources? You think that's right? Or should they just mind their business too on political issues that's going on in Africa or barbecue?
No, I think what is the general that's over there now taking control of the land and stuff in Africa and stuff like that? America need to leave that man alone. And they just put the general up there. And see, now that's the thing. Now they go try to do him like a Gaddafi, say he's a tyrant or go to some regime or some type of group that's on it. You go try to. We know how America rolls. We know how these people roll. They just got a black general up there, full stop. To start demonizing the man, and the man just want to he just want to produce and recycle his own gold and sell it himself. He don't need friends. More power to him. If he had a GoFundMe, I send him something.
Right. But
we always respect that. Same thing with apartheid. We respect that situation with Mandela. We all on that.
Right.
You got all that. Whenever they trying to get in the freedom, we support it 100%.
Right. But you got people like the African Union that dedicated the whole 2025 for reparation for the diaspora. I think Black Americans don't want no other people supporting them getting reparations. This is just their fight, and nobody else should have no input.
Well, our fight is lineage based. That's always been our fight. Nothing changed with us. Nothing changed. We always knew that. I'm a 70s baby. It was still that. 60s, it was that for black people, descendants of slaves, Jim Crow, the victims of this, that, hanging here, a shooting there, all that happened to us, that's all we was pushing for. Period. Y'all just came along on the side, on the other end, but our aim was always for that.
Generalize it. Like, who's y'all?
Well, y'all as in other people then, man. My bad is you could dwell on words. But Asians, everybody else, they came on something else. They came in because of the fight we had. That's like coming in after the fight. Ain't swinging.
But why you including Asians and Hispanics as into the African diaspora or the continental Africa?
Well, I don't include them. I'm just talking about all that. I'm not talking about them as African diaspora. I'm just talking about the people that came in on the same dang on boat. On the same situation. It benefited all of them. You see, that's when we get to the fact.
I don't see no Africans. With the Fat Joseph, he's just speaking from a New York perspective. He's from New York, and this is
New York,
is a New York culture, huh?
New York hip hop is a New York culture, and so you go. You see, this is my thing with them.
I mean, jazz is a Louisiana culture. It's born in Louisiana, right?
All right. Yeah, so, what we talking about? You think that they had a part of
a person from New York can't tell a person from Louisiana how jazz.
I got that. That's why I'm asking. You know more than I do. I'm asking.
Right. Well, generally Louisiana jazz is a Louisiana culture. That's where it was born.
See, I'm not comfortable with them using the N-word.
I don't think a person from.
I'm not comfortable with them being that comfortable with that. When I talk to people, dudes from the East Coast, I'm not comfortable with that.
But right? I think that's more acceptable a Puerto Rican that probably has some African ancestry versus
it doesn't matter.
In California.
It doesn't matter. His lineage ain't like ours. Right? And like we calling them wetbacks, banana boat, European white trash, You talking with who use those things?
But
Don't do that.
But I understand your sentiment, but that's just New York culture.
All right, yeah, I get it. You know, he understand that too. I've met him before. You know, he come down here and I don't think he. But see, but that don't work for the rest of the black folks at all. Right. I got a problem when Cardi B said something like that. I got a problem with that. You're Latino.
But she's Caribbean, or she got like Caribbean ancestry.
Right, but I don't. Yeah, but you're still a Latino.
So you saying that nobody from the Caribbean or Africa should say that the N-word, even though
I don't care if they're from Africa and Nigeria. No, they ain't for you, man. Because you're doing it. Wait. So even though Africa got places called Negro Land, Nigeria, and Niger, that all right, I understand the difference of when they're talking about their countryside and where they come from and stuff like that. But we know the difference, man. Let's not play games. No. So African could not call me that. So I've been in a situation where, you know, I knew some New York dudes and stuff like that. That's cool. Okay, well, that cuts me off guard, especially Latino, right? Saying that in the conversation, I was like, okay, well, and he telling me, I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm not your end. That might be your end. I don't do that. See, that's odd to me.
So basically, the N-word is just specifically for black people in America.
I don't play with it like that with nobody else.
No, I'm saying that
right. A lot of people don't. Right. Who said that? Jay-Z? Jay-Z said that and they make a difference. Hold on, because that's who started it with the A instead of the ER, saying that he was going to change it and take the word back. He said that on Oprah. Jay-Z don't mean nothing to the South. Nothing.
I mean,
they start doing that up there, man. We don't do that down here. It's still pretty much black and white down here.
Your reason, because it's people in California, they'll tell you that,
okay, Mexicans that's on them. They do what they do. We don't do that down here. That's a problem. And see, and this is the other thing. I'm from the South, man. See, I can't hook up with a Latino of any type, dark or not, and like on a street tip and go ride and go do another FBA something. We ain't that cool. You see what I'm saying? And West Coast, they'll do that now. We don't do that down here.
Right. I mean, the
won't see
Louisiana is different.
No, we talk about the entire quarter of the country. They don't do that from Arkansas all the way to the Carolinas. We don't do that. That's what most of the FBAs come from.
People from the Carolinas
don't ride with other cultures of people to go do dirt on a black person. If so, it might be a sprinkle, but we don't do that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the N-word. I'm not talking about picking up.
Well, the N-word either, man. They don't really get down like that unless you get to Virginia. But you know, Virginia is a Navy area, so they might have a little mountain pot that come down from there. And they do that. We don't do that. And I'm in New Orleans, man. I'm in a tourist spot. I met people from all over the world. I was a waiter before in the French Quarter. Every event from the 80s on up, Super Bowls, all that kind of stuff, anything you can think of. Real Germans, real racists, whatever you can think of. And I even did the 5-star thing.
Now I've been to Louisiana. I've been to Monroe. I've been to Baton Rouge.
I used to work at Raw House Oyster Bar, right on Wall Street.
Right.
So that's how it is. So we don't do that at all. That might be your partner. I can
only speak from a tri-state point of view or a New York point of view. I can't really speak on the South perspective. I'm not from the South or California. I don't reside in those areas. Mm-hmm. But I understand your sentiment though.
Yeah, you know, it's like we just kind of throwback. We haven't had that melting pot like that.
down here, we don't have that. We didn't grow up like the brothers in the West Coast and stuff, and them grew up, you know, with that kind of melting pot, and damn sure not the East Coast and stuff. And then, especially the way y'all design, East Coast got so many high rises and stuff like that, and people packed in one area. Y'all live next door to each other. All right, well, I can see that. But we don't do that down here. We own property. We got our own land, and we got space and stuff like that. And then it's just pretty much black and white. So for the most, when you get through some of these southern states, and we got to worry about other shit, you know, I mean, other stuff, like white folks still.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think your ancestors descend from Africa?
I think we were sold by Africans to white folks, and we landed in America, and we started everything here before there was a country.
Okay, I can respect that.
Right. I don't know. We're not stupid. I mean, all life came from that. I mean, people play that game, but we understand that. So when people ask me, and I'm a throwback with it, we should go back to Africa. Go back to Africa for what? I want to go back and visit the same people that captured my ass and beat my people and killed and deleted them in the first place and then sold me. I don't need to talk to them.
So you rather be around the colonizer, the people that put you in chains?
I'd rather be around my people that's here, that we got here together, we go start together, and we go finish together, right? And we go grow together, right? I respect that. 41 strong. If they wouldn't have had the deletions, we'll be 80 mil strong right now.
I respect that. I mean, that's
right.
I can't disagree with your sentiment on that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna knock them. I mean, that's cool, and because we're in a better position. We had to fight for it. That's why we welcome everybody to come over here. Everybody, but hold on, we ain't not all this. You know, that's why they lost. That's why they lost the thing. They lost the election because of the immigration issues. These people up here tripping, and that LGBT stuff. You know, with the bathrooms, and I raised a 13. I'm a single parent. I got a 13-year-old daughter I'm raising. Right, and I got 3 other kids.
Shout out to her.
Right, I ain't playing that, man. We're not doing that. And then they're trying to indoctrinate our children with the Q part. No, y'all got this shit. Y'all, we got this in elementary schools, and you got the flag up over the American flag. And that's one thing. Goddamn it, I'm American. I got to take that lick. Got to take that lick. Even when we go to wars and we know we dead wrong, I'm still American. So, and one day if they retaliate, they're gonna be someone on our behind too, just like they had the terrorist situation. The situation for New Year's when the guy ran through the French Quarter on Bourbon and deleted about 13 people, ran over them, then jumped out with a firearm and then the police had to delete them. You know, we got to take that.
My only pushback, or I think you should educate yourself because not all African people was in on the slave trade. Some groups like the Dahomey.
Of course not. That was just mainly ones on the coast, and that went up. That was able to get up there. Yeah, Africa is a big old country, a continent. A lot of people don't even know that happened. A lot of that history was erased for some. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it, but then when you don't know what we went through, you just came here and you saw a couple of pictures of MLK and Malcolm X, and we should overcome. They think that's they really don't.
But I think Africa has tried to reach out and try to correct the slave way more than America has for Black people. At least Africa has offered land and some sort of reparation for the transatlantic slave trade.
No, we don't want that. We on another mission. We still got this here to fight first, right? We got this here to fight, right? And I have some friends that been over, and some friends from Xavier that go to Xavier hosts a trip over there to South Africa every year, and you're starting to see that a lot of mayors, Black mayors, go over there from city to city, right? Atlanta mayors. New Orleans mayors, all that. For some reason, all the Black mayors meet up in South Africa for some reason. Right. So they got a link. They're linking up one way or another. But the thing is, I just hope it's not political. Okay, because then that means somebody trying to buy something. Because we had Kamala went over there to 11 African countries and said, and pretty much was, with the help was denied if they didn't put something in the writing about LGBTQ protection. That's kind of foolishness, bro.
Yeah, I don't think you should be trying to push a certain type of culture that people don't agree with.
That's what they're about, though. Don't forget, that's old Montello ex, him and another chick. That they were living together, right? So that's their thing. That's their thing, and that's what they pushing hard. They ain't even thinking about black folks, right? And so we still got to get through that, and we can't even get some of these popular look.
So you pro conservative Republican?
Well, most black people were raised conservative. Because we were raised we were kind of raised in the church to some degree, but that is something. I mean, I'm conservative on some issues, like messing with our children, right?
But you do know, majority of the Republicans or conservative, they won't support reparations because they feel like it'll put the country in a depth that we probably can't crawl out of.
No, that's not what it is, because they know that one thing, they already know that they can't stand the fact that we may be successful on our own. That's why they destroyed all our land and businesses like they did. Then we the biggest spenders. Then we don't need them no more. Period.
So
that's why.
So you support Trump. You support Trump. Stance on the immigration and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got too many immigrants in there. 20 million, way too many. And they sopping up all the damn benefits too. And not only that, Latinos voted for them to get out. Every group voted for it out. I don't see why it's even a question for us. Period. Okay. Our turnout was off the chain. But I didn't vote for them.
So do you support Trump bringing in the white South Africans as citizens and giving them subsidized land and government grants?
No, not especially during these times now. But we already know what these white folks gonna do. When they elected, Trump said he was going to deport. He was only going to start with criminal illegals first. He said, I'm going to start with that. We know what he's saying. Right. Everybody got a problem. Everybody got expired visas, work visas, student visas, all that. He's trying to get rid of all that. He already putting out the Section 8 thing, 2 years. Leave it up to the state. We already know that. We know that because throughout our history, we already know that's what the Republicans was coming for. But we up here dilly-dallying around voting Democrat and ain't getting nothing. They won't even bring it up. None of our issues.
So
they actually Biden ran on raising the minimum wage. He ran on that and never brought it to the table because you got a lot of industries that make money off it too.
Right. So what you think the Republicans going to bring to the table as far as benefiting Black Americans?
Well, that's what we got to see. So that's what I'm holding my breath on right now. So the only issue I have with Trump moves right now, you can't mess with the Smithsonian in our history, man. All right, so we need not to mess with that at all.
You support the DEI and the Section 8, getting rid of Section 8 and leaving it up to the state and the school.
I damn sure support not having DEI. Didn't support Black people. That just put us farther behind in the job market.
But now it kind of gives these corporations like the right to deny people without no explanation. Like they could just deny you.
Yeah, but they deny us, and we was denying our damn self anyway because by putting everybody else. Latinos was getting more jobs than us. Just got here. You got first generational people up here standing strong. We're all up in Congress. Like, we the people. Like, hold on, baby, you just born here.
Maybe they should have just maybe the DI could have been tweaked to get
maybe they need to go back to the Constitution and redo that 14th Amendment and make sure it was clear that it was meant for black people.
What, the 14th Amendment?
You're right. That's how they start coming here like that.
I mean, I don't think they should get rid of the 14th Amendment because it kind of made black people. It made black people.
Sure that is understand. But see, we have a problem with not putting anything in and putting black, our lineage on paper, and it wind up being minority, and minority is everybody. We didn't get out there.
But you do know prior to the 14th. But you do know prior to the 14th Amendment, like black Americans wasn't even citizens. So
right, and then we became that. You had to have property.
Under
that, you know?
but under the 14th Amendment. So I don't think the 14th Amendment should be tweaked because it kind of gives black American citizenship too. If you understand what I'm saying.
So we can do this by lineage. Easy to track. They got a whole lot of ledgers that exist to this day. In Bassfield, outside of Harrisburg, Mississippi, we could point to where the land that my people worked at.
Right.
We can point to that.
So wouldn't that jeopardize the people that's half FBA, half Caribbean, half FBA?
Well, they had, yeah. Well, see, but you also have. I mean, well, I don't know about Caribbean, but you also have Creole and stuff like that. But they've been here too. Because the French
under that notion, like not giving naturalized birthright citizenship, like people like Malcolm X wouldn't be a citizen because his mother's from the Caribbean.
No, you're talking about Elijah Muhammad.
No, I'm talking about Malcolm X.
But his mother's not. One of his family members was an FBA though. Yeah, but his mother's not. He's in there, so we can go back and forth. If your people, one of your people was from here, you're from here. You in there. We can go by lineage.
No, I'm not talking about as far as lineage. I'm talking about as far as birthright citizenship. Like that wouldn't make Malcolm X a citizen.
Well, we just start to see how they write it out then.
If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It really doesn't matter to me though. It doesn't matter if Malcolm X was. It doesn't matter if Elijah. It matters what my people are.
Right.
Some people ain't gonna get it.
Are you talking about reparations, or you talking about citizenship?
But that's not a reason. That's not a reason to shoot down the whole movement. Well, I ain't getting it, so you're against it? You know, that kind of thing. Some people ain't gonna get it. Some people have a problem with proving it, but for the masses, we'll be straight.
Right.
Right. You see,
I don't really got it.
We got people out there protesting Target and stuff like that. You never see them say, well, go to such and such black business. You don't see none of them doing that. But more than anything like that, or the area, any kind of business is going, you don't see them doing that. They're not programmed for that. They don't get paid for that. That's why some of our people control.
Right.
So is it, I'm Jill Stein,
my only thing. Yeah, my only thing.
Cornell West.
My only thing with as far as like the DEI and the birthright citizenship, because to me it sounds like Trump and his cabinet is trying to undermine the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in a sense,
We knew he was going to do that. We knew that. We knew that. What you think he's looking at? You know, my lady, Muslim lady, them out there, you up there giving these people, you giving these white folks a hard time? Yeah, and then you marry your brother and bringing them in, and you trying to bust it wide open for it. Nah, we want all y'all gone. That's what he was saying.
right.
And he made it a state of emergency. We knew that.
Right. I don't really got.
You know what? You know when we experienced it, we experienced during the crack that era there in the 90s, the 89 and 90s. When they put that federal law out there, everybody was gone. Everything was a felony, and then they put out incentives and bonuses that you can get, and for a felony arrest, a half a doogie was a year in prison, like you was a dealer. If they found one piece of marijuana, you know, in the car, and you had 3 dudes in there, that's 3 felony arrests. That was in New Orleans.
Oh, let me ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
You can ask the chat one question. Brian Robinson, what am I hating on? What did you hear me hate on? Anybody in the chat, can you tell me what exactly am I hating? Because I see everybody keep, you hating. What am I hating on? What did I say that's hating or undermining anything the brother's talking about? If I don't agree with Trump rhetoric, that's just me. I'm not undermining FBA. I don't think you should undermine the Civil Rights Act or the 14th Amendment. That's just me. The 14th Amendment granted Black American citizenship in America, and it also granted Black people to be naturalized citizen under the 14th Amendment. If you disagree with that, that's on you, brother. That's just me. I don't agree with Trump policies on those things. I agree with certain things he said, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the alphabet community. I don't agree with certain things like that. That's just me. So if I'm hating on Trump, or that don't mean I'm hating on FBA because I don't agree with Trump taking away DEI or certain programs that could benefit Black people, that now put it in the hands of these racist white people, that now they could deny Black people food, services, or jobs with no explanation, or deny Black people being citizens of this country. So if you disagree with that, that's on you, brother. I'm not hating on nobody. What scared taxes? Kev is agreeing with what I'm saying. He don't agree that Trump should dismantle the Smithsonian, right, Kev? Kev, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Yeah, do you agree with Trump dismantling the Smithsonian and basically saying slavery, Jim Crow, and these stuff was improper ideology as he stated? That's what he said, not me. That's why he wouldn't get rid of the Smithsonian. He believed that America wasn't built on slavery and Jim Crow and racism. That's his rhetoric. That's why he wanted to dismantle the Smithsonian to get rid of Black history and show the
go do that too.
Yeah, so if you're gonna disagree with me, then you gotta disagree with Kev. Kev don't agree with.
I don't have to agree with you on everything. I disagree with you on everything. You could be right sometimes.
Yeah, I don't get.
They got dirty ass dudes on both sides. You know what? And listen, I'm gonna give you a prime example. You remember the big old ordeal with putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill? Now the Democrats bringing up, when is that gonna be on the $20 bill? Why y'all ain't put it on the $20 bill? Biden just left office. Me and my brother got hit with the crime bill.
But I think what separate Biden from I think
saying, hold on, man. That's why I don't separate none of them with that dumb stuff, because both of them, he didn't harm us already. Right? That took a hit. My brother was one of the ones who got 25 years. And then it was giving people 25 years because he had to have one violent crime. He just went for hustling. That's 3 times. And they was throwing them in there for that. So, and I went to the juvenile system. And I'm living in an area where they got a lot of white folks, so I had to jump on. We had to fight them when we was in school. I got 13 years old. I got put in the juvenile system, and I heard y'all say something before, I almost got juvenile life. If I'd have gotten more trouble.
Yeah. I was speaking about juvenile life, yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So what they put in, if you ain't commit a crime, they put you in a child in need of supervision, right? Went to 4 different places. And they will tell you, and I'm around these old Southern-ass white folks, they know that's going to hamper your ability to learn. And then that your eyes are coming back to the jail are better. So they were just grooming it for the next generation. And that was a set plan by the state.
Even now that he passing the executive order that basically give cops the immunity, they won't even be charged for doing some heinous crime, and also pass another executive order basically trying to, if you a cop killer, basically, you get executed. You feel me? So I feel sorry for the brother that defended his son after the cops gunned his son down, and we still haven't seen the gun on camera, on the police body camera, or anything like that. I think he justified.
Well, have somebody that crashed out. It's like the brother in Baton Rouge got sick of watching that stuff on TV. The way it was just people being treated, and he crashed out. And
you talking about Micah?
Right,
you talking about brother Micah? You talking about brother Micah?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot the name. They got so many of them, man. We can't even keep up with all the names.
You talking about the dude with the dashiki on that I think he had gunned down like 3-4 cops or something like that.
Right, running through the parking lot or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, he was on all black or something like that. But they're going to have people that do that. And see, America know that we have that kind of temperament in us to be like that. They don't really want our trouble, period. They really don't want that kind of trouble. They ask them what happened in Oakland.
What scare tactics are you talking about, brother? These are policies that you could read or pull up in the newspaper, brother. Nobody using those scare tactics. Trump is dismantling the Smithsonian. He just got rid of Section 8 and put that in the hands of state with the school system too. That's not scare tactics. That's Trump executive orders, brother. So I don't know what scare tactics you're talking about. I'm not trying to scare black people to thinking that white people is racist. White people are racist.
They're going to scare us with that anyway, because you know what? We know we're going to have to adjust. We already know how to get down with them. We know we're going to have some adjustments to make, right? Hopefully the adjustments we make work out for the better. Now, the only problem is the Section 8 thing and leaving it to the states. Some states can be wicked with it. And sometimes it may work for a good thing. Some black folks who's like, it's not for generations. And being from New Orleans, I'm gonna say this, man. Look, and like once they opened up New Orleans after Katrina and stuff like that, they locked off the projects. There had people out there protesting and banging on the, trying to tear down the fence, trying to get back in the project, and saying stuff like, we've been here like 2-3 generations. This our home. That kind of thing is not what it's meant for. So they will give them 2 years. I wish it was 4 years. And they leave it to the states, and we don't know how good. A state is only good as the leader, the person who's running it. So that's gonna be up in the air.
Right.
That's gonna be up in the air. I mean, you got a whole lot of white folks that's gonna get messed up in that. I can tell you that down in Alabama and stuff, Mississippi, they got white people. They broke. They poor. Right? We like to think of black folks as the leader of the recipients of that stuff, but they get welfare. We don't really get that like that.
Right.
Now we'll
But what it do? It kind of give the state. It kind of give the state the opportunity to help who they want to help.
Let me tell you something about that Section 8. I have a partner of mine, right? And I used to work for UPS. I was a UPS driver, right, in New Orleans, right? And one of my friends, him and his old lady had a kid, right? So he bought the house. He went on Section 8, went to school, they had another kid, finished nursing. Section 8 was paying the mortgage. Then when the kids were grown and everything, got married, then put the deposit down. The house had been doubled in value, and then put the deposit on another house, bigger house. You can make that stuff work for you.
Right.
That's the point. You got to make it work for you. So they're gonna have to people gonna have to really think about that, how to make that work for them right now. And that's the thing. So it's gonna be a problem because what is gonna happen is they're gonna plaster a whole lot of black homeless women and children. That's what they're gonna do. That's gonna be all over the news.
Yeah. Well, I would say
they're gonna try to use that to get black people riled up to act a fool and to get out there and protest and take the streets and stuff like that. And I don't think that's gonna work either. They've been trying everything, but the only thing that's gonna move us, especially with the voting bloc, as far as my opinion, is what you gonna do for black people. Same thing in New Orleans. We got a history of black mayors, 40, 50 years or more black mayors, and we don't have one black business down in the CBD in the French Quarter. Everything on Canal Street is owned by Indians or Arabs. And then the white folks, they own the French Quarter. That's old white money, right? We don't have nothing down there. We couldn't even put a. And my suggestion is, can we put a tax in, a tax for reparations and stuff, and let them pay it? But no, they're gonna put a state tax in, a luxury tax, a liquor tax. You're gonna do all that. You could have did something for us.
Right. Do you see any policies? Do you see any policies that Trump is putting forward that's going to benefit black people yet?
No, not yet. Not directly. There's only one way. We need one thing directly. Now he might give some more to the HBCU schools, or we'll take that. Appreciate it. Our kids still need that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's just a new thing because we just now getting on our second generation, and some families' first generation is going to HB getting to go to college.
Right. Me personally, I think the FBA rhetoric of delineating from the black diaspora or the continental Africans is not going to be.
And here's my thing again, though. Why you go come in? Why would you come in? Why would the one that who do this? I know it ain't everybody. Why would you come in here? Worried about us undermining us? Important.
I mean, you talking about a few. People.
We already know we got issues. We know they did a number on us. Why y'all worried about it? Worry about your homeland. We don't understand that. Down and I'm in the South, people tell you, mind your business. Well, why are you doing this? Well, why you ain't minding your damn business? Your business was to come here, get an education, and say we doing better than that. Okay, you don't really know our history, all right? But we ain't got productive people. Like 80% of black people are not in the middle class. Like we ain't but $10,000 behind the average white man.
You say 80% of black people is in the middle class in America?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Depending on the area, because think what is you single? If you look up what is middle class in America, 30,000. Single,
30,000 not considered middle class.
Let me finish. There ain't nothing in Chicago, but that is good in Louisiana, Mississippi.
30,000.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So even if they go up to 45,000, but you do have a nice summer paper, which I'm just saying most black people, for the most part, I know you get hung up on numbers, are in the middle class. But what they show is
if you're talking about as far as like living,
the point is they come over here judging us by what they see on television.
But you're talking about a small population. You're not talking about the mass majority of black people that's coming from Africa.
No, I'm talking about black people. Black people doing all right, man. I'm talking about black people.
Yeah, but black people from Africa is not coming to. But black people from Africa is not. Majority of the black people that's coming from Africa or the Caribbean is not undermining black people in America.
Right, all right. I got you. Make sure you get that in there. I feel you on that. I'm saying it in too broad. Right, but for those that do.
Yeah, but it kind of works. It works both ways because you got black people. You got black people around right now in the chat. They'll tell you that Africans is poor. They live in mud huts. They got bones through their nose.
Yeah, we know that. We've seen that all our lives.
But I'm saying though that it wouldn't be fair if Caribbeans or Africans say look at like just base their opinion based on this chat room or any FBA quote unquote talking space that undermine Caribbeans or Africans.
Yeah, but I mean what they're saying don't really matter to us. I don't understand why they're talking about us. We trying to get work done. That's what I don't get. For those that do, why you can't even link up with us on that kind of level?
But those people that do,
we not in their business. None of them.
Yeah, but
Latinos, we not in the Mexicans, our Salvadorian business.
Well, brother, you can't include
nobody's business but our own.
Yeah, but you can't include the Hispanic talking points with Africans or the Caribbean, brother. That's very disingenuous because nobody from the Caribbean is linking with no Mexicans or El Salvadorians
or things
like that.
Anybody that came to the country.
Okay,
now,
so you just talking about
when I was telling you earlier on, being Jamaican. Well, we ain't got no problem with you, man. We ain't got no problem with no Jamaicans ever.
Yeah,
now,
I don't see no.
What the whole diaspora mean? I mean, if that with the Cubans, I know they have some issue with the Cubans down there in Florida. I don't know, what it is up there in the East Coast and stuff like that, because we kind of blind in that. We only got that big melting pot down in Texas, and they got a big population of Mexicans down there. Ain't nothing really spark off yet. You can always tell what's gonna happen by the jail system. Like that Tory Lanez thing. You go see how much with the black and brown people thing is. I don't understand who the hell brown people are.
That's more like a California talking point, like black and brown pride and all that.
They're trying to say Hispanics and Latinos. So we didn't march and get out here and suffer and fight like that for no damn Latinos and stuff. We ain't get hit with bricks for them. I'm telling them that, let them know that now. They ain't help. And that's true. None of them even said, thank you, I appreciate the shit.
That's true. I think y'all fight more.
Some Latinos, and we only going by internet world, YouTube and stuff like that. Now you got some Latinos trying to tell people, educate some other Latinos. You can't ask black folks for this and trying to educate them on the history of black folks, but for the most part, they raised like that. They raised by liking dark people.
Yeah, that's a Hispanic talking point. Let me just respond to somebody real quick. Donnie Williams, what is a worldwide talking point? Give me some prevalent African leaders or Africans on the continent that's talking about undermining black people in America. Because you said this is a worldwide talking point. Give me 3 Jamaicans or 3 Haitians that's undermining black people talking about that's in Jamaica or Haiti that say black people in America shouldn't get reparations or things like that. This is a worldwide talking point.
Let me ask you a question, my brother. Hey, did you go back to the Caribbean?
Yeah.
And visit? All right. Good.
Yeah.
At least you go back. That's good, man. Because you got the
Yeah, I got a house in I got a house in Jamaica and a house in New York. So
right.
so I go back and
forth. And
forth.
that's what I suggest people do. See, to me, y'all blessed. You got 2 homelands. I mean, you got 2 places to go. At least you got a homeland that you could take pride in. We had to start ours from here, from the mud on up, and so we got to take the complete pride in what we got and what we fought for. That's a big ass thing. Now, see, I like Jamaica. I've been, been to Cozumel and I've been to Kingston and stuff like that. I've been to Jamaica 3 times, and usually when I go to Jamaica, just like my frame of mind is, it's for black folks. I'm not Jamaican, and I don't think they FBAs, but I can still respect their culture. When I go,
the times you went to Jamaica, did any Jamaicans undermine you or practice any xenophobia?
I ain't never heard no Jamaican do that. I ain't never heard no Jamaican doing that. Ever. Not even the ones that live in New Orleans and got partners that Jamaican. Never. They ain't got no issue. But the thing is, they don't say, they ain't got nothing negative to say about our culture or our struggle either. But so when you got other people that get in that, y'all was never like that.
Yeah, so I don't understand when people say that.
So when we talk about Caribbeans, well, some Caribbeans like that. They got Cubans and stuff like that, and they don't like niggas. They don't like dog people.
Yeah, that's Cuba though.
They don't like
Cuba.
dog people of their own kind. So why?
Yeah, that's Cuba.
So I'm not on the Caribbean, like, ain't no thing. And just ain't. If they got a problem with me or my people, I got a problem with them. That's it. Or they just get looked around and walked over or ignored. They mean nothing in what we trying to get done. And if they can't respect it, then F them, we can't worry about that, man.
Right. And Donnie Way, if you heard me say that FBA shouldn't get shit, you're probably referring to when people are talking about FBA should take African resources or things like that. I don't believe no FBA should be taking no African resources. Even though the transatlantic slave trade happened, the mass majority of Africans wasn't involved in the slave trade. You had certain groups that was involved in the slave trade, yes. But you also had Black Americans in America that enslaved other Black people in the North or Florida or certain areas. But no, I don't agree with FBA should be taking African resources as reparations before they take it to the Anglo-Saxons or the American government that put Black Americans in chains or made them sharecroppers or redline them or lynch them.
Slavery, right? It's more than slavery, right? Because even if you just started out, this reparations should be after slavery ended. They got enough stuff for reparations for Black people that shit they done done. That they've done.
Yeah, so if you're referring to when I said that, then yes, I would say that I would reiterate my point again. No black people, no Jamaican people should be getting no resources out of Africa before they get reparations from the British government, the American government, the French government, the Spanish government, the Portuguese government, or the Dutch government, or any other white European nation that benefited generations off the backs of slavery. So that if you're referring to that, then I fully support Black people getting reparations in America, whether I get it or not. That's not my fight. I support it. I support reparations. I want to see all Black people get reparations. So I support Black America getting reparations. I don't agree with people talking about Michael Langley should be taking the resource out of Africa because that'll be reparations for Black people in America. I don't agree with that. So I don't if that's what you're talking about, I would say that I don't think Black people in America or the diaspora should be taking resources, gold, lithium, or any precious resources out of Africa as reparations.
All right. I think one of Africa's biggest issues now is protecting what that is, guys, again, the General Tory. Yeah. Yeah, he need to be protected because they're coming after him.
Yeah.
They definitely coming after them, and then judging by what the general said, the United States, they go put they put the old black general up there, and now they go try to
or if you're talking about delineation, Donnie, I don't agree with that because I'm a Pan-African. So no, I don't agree with Black Americans should delineate from Africa or the diaspora and basically delineate. I don't agree with that because I'm a Pan-African. That's my stance, and that's all Pan-African stance. Whether they're Black American, diaspora, or continental Africans, no Pan-African would agree with anybody delineating from Africa or the soul of being Black as a whole. You don't see Trump delineating America from white people. He's rolling out the red carpet for white South Africans to get citizenship.
Oh, yeah. He's straight
to
German,
get citizenship, land, and government grants before he give it to the people that was enslaved in this country, or the people that came here legally through other refugee status or immigration thing organization. He's denying them while literally rolling out the red carpet for some racist apartheid South Africans that was brutally murdering and taking all the resources out of South Africa, and now rolling out the red carpet, and they plan on bringing in 500,000 white South Africans. That's more than the whole population of Nigerians in America. That's half of the population of Jamaicans that's in this country.
That's the racist ones too. That's the most German ass South Africans.
Yeah,
that's the racist ones.
And they're talking about they're being attacked and brutalized, and they should get citizenship in America. I can't speak because I'm just a citizen of America. I wasn't born here. I don't have ancestors going back to 1860 or whatever census record. But I could just speak for me. I don't agree with Trump rolling out the red carpet for white South Africans before he roll out the carpet for Black Americans and give them government grants or subsidized land for farming or things like that.
And we don't need to know. We don't. But see, that's the way, what how election rolls. What America gave him the power to do it. So and what he doing it, right? And then we got a judicial system and Supreme Court and stuff like that. But it is what it is. That's like the same thing with deporting old boys from MS-13. Them people not playing. We knew he was going to do that. Now you got some people around that's going to help him skirt around the law, and he's going to try to push the Supreme Court to change some things, and we already know what's going on.
That's their problem. I'm not Hispanics. I don't, you feel me? That's their problem. If they MS-13 or 18th Street or whatever Latin gang and they voted for Trump because they hate Black people, and they want to see Black people undermined in this country, hey, that's on them. Trump don't like anybody that's not white. So that if you wanted to vote for Trump and support his policies on immigration, and now your people caught up in that mess, that's on y'all Hispanics. I don't. That's not my fight. My fight is for Black people universally, no matter where they're at.
It's not like we all jocked out behind Trump either. We got to keep our eye on his ass too. We ain't saying either one of them good. We just saying we want some results for our vote, and we keeping our eye out on who doing what, right? And it don't look good on the Democratic side, and we just waiting for somebody with a voice.
Well, I think it's worse on the Republicans. I think it's worse on the Republican side.
Why?
You said why?
Do you think it's worse for Black people on the Republican side?
Yeah. I think it's worse.
All right, let's opinion. Let's say right now it's just illegal immigration and nothing else really passes for Black people. Nothing else really. The economy stays the way it is. How's that bad for Black people?
I think going after the
because
Smithsonian,
you still got the immigration issue. That's a good thing for Black people, in my opinion. Getting rid of a lot of the illegal immigrants, that's a good thing for Black people. Because, you saw the news, man. You seen them storming, You know, even though the governors from Florida and Texas sent them up there, they're not going to play that shit down here. They sent them up there to New York and Chicago. There are a few dudes that want to embrace equity, inclusion, and diversity, minority, and all that good old-fashioned stuff other than black folks and stuff. And that's what you see with how it goes. They're not going to leave. They're not going to stay down here. They ain't going to keep them down here. And we ain't got no problem with that.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta pick the lesser of the two evils. You feel me?
And the lesser of the two evils, they're gonna be good and bad on both sides. You just got to make sure they ain't messing over us.
Yeah,
right.
But as far as
we looking for, when you're saying we the people are these areas that we get our voting block on, just what we want. Just what we asking for. Not for everybody in black and brown. I ain't about that black and brown stuff. I know.
Yeah, but at least the Democrats at least entertain the idea of reparations. The Republicans, I don't even think they'll even entertain that idea.
They just started saying that. And why you think they're saying that? You know what they're gonna do? They had that's been out there since the 70s and 80s. All they're doing is getting some sisters to try to reopen it and try to get our votes again. If voting for reparations go through Democrats and it comes with all that immigration of 20 million damn illegal immigrants, I don't want it. Something wrong with it. And they're talking about giving vouchers and money to school. No, we need cash payments. We're talking about cash, like the Indians got, natives, and everybody else did. We need something to open the doors to start our own businesses so we can get that going again. That's what they sabotage. All our businesses. Then you got people coming in thinking we lazy. No, we worked everything. My grandpa and them was a farmer. That's where the money was.
Right.
We knew how to farm. After we got freed and everything, the first thing we did was start farming and making money, and then they start hitting our land, the banks and stuff like that. You got illiterate black slaves coming out there, and you got people just run a game on them all the time.
Right.
Up until this day. That hadn't stopped. Nothing has stopped. Every major institution, almost every last one of them, the banking system, that's off us. All the way up until now. In 2012, I mean, when Obama was in office, he had them plead guilty. Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, and another couple of banks, 4 or 5 of them, big banks, that they was targeting certain areas and redlining them and charging them more interest rates on car loans and shit. And home loans.
Let me just reply to somebody in the chat real quick. Donnie Williams, if you feel like Pan-African is a scam, then hey, global white supremacy is working for white people. So if you think Pan-African is a scam that has been working and benefiting black people as a whole, as far as Africana studies, giving multiple black people scholarships in developing certain economic forces, hey, that's on you, brother. Pan-African has been working for over 100 years, from Martin Delaney, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Ture, a.k.a. Stokely Carmichael, all the way up to Umar Johnson and other reputables on the continent or in America. And hey, you may disagree with Nkrumah. Nkrumah is a Pan-African organization that's been fighting for reparations. So if you disagree and so on, like the African Union that's centered around being Pan-Africans and they dedicated the whole 2025 for reparations for the diaspora and taking it to the highest court in the world, the United Nations. If you disagree with that's on you. Pan-African has been working for me and other people for the last 100 years. So if you disagree with that, hey, that's on you. Pan-African has influenced other African countries. You can look at their flag with the red, black, and green in it. If you disagree with Pan-African been a scam, that's on you, brother. There's multitude of things you can see with how Pan-African has benefited black people in America, the diaspora, or in the continent. You could look at Ibrahim Traoré, a self-proclaimed Pan-Africanist, and Mali, Niger, and these other countries that's working under the guise of Pan-Africanism. They're putting their religion, their tribes aside, and putting Pan-African as the focal point of their movement. If you disagree with that and you think it's a scam, hey, that's on you. If you want to be economically embargoed in America and delineate from Africa, I don't know if America got lithium deposits underneath the soil. I don't know if America got large gold deposits. I don't even know if America got large oil deposits. So if you want to economically embargo yourself in America, where you could only grow rice, cotton, and things like that, and delineate from Africa, hey, that's on you. Hopefully it works for you and your family. I know Pan-African is working. I see Black people going back to Africa, opening their own mining business and different industries, and it's working perfectly fine for them. So, hey, if it don't work for you, hey, that's on you. My fault, brother. I didn't mean to cut your bill, Kev.
No, I was just saying. I mean, you Caribbean. I mean, with your Caribbean background, you think you'd be welcome in all the countries in Africa? Because some of them don't like you, man.
I mean,
we know some of right. We know a lot of Africans that don't like us because not only that, we the West and we the rich kids. So I know that. They make it known.
I mean, everybody got,
and as far as they consider, whatever they consider, what they consider slaves, just like the Indian lady, they did the recording and everything, saying and stuff like that. What they do, they think of us as slaves. That's beneath.
I mean, that's you're talking about India. You're not talking about Africa. I know.
Yeah,
what
but I'm
you're
also talking
about
African too. They think of us as slaves. That's beneath them, and people to have that different mindset.
Are you generalizing again? Because I'm
only generalizing. I'm just thinking. I think of us as slaves. I think that's true, and that's just my own personal opinion.
So I mean, is Black Americans that have whole communities in Ghana, Nigeria. They have businesses. I know a lady right now that's in Libya. She has her own gold mine where she hire African people to dig for different minerals, and she's benefiting fine. She went there with a couple dollars and was able to open her own mining business. She's doing perfectly fine. I know people that's in Kenya that got different organizations and businesses, they do perfectly fine. It's Black Americans in South Africa with different businesses, and they doing fine.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I didn't know that. All right, that's good that they're doing. All right, that's why we have the internet, and that's why we talk it. We can chop it up.
Yeah, so I see it working. Maybe certain people.
Let me ask you this: which countries do you think in Africa are not Black FBA friendly?
In Africa, I would say majority of the Arab run countries like the Moroccos, the Tunisia, the Egypt.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say East Africa, because you got, for instance, Haile Selassie. He gave the diaspora a whole community called Shashamane, where it's a bunch of FBAs and Jamaicans or Trinidadians. They live in harmony under the goddess of Rastafari, and they got a whole land.
Right, because see, I think once we get through all of this kind of stuff here, it'll be good to go ahead and get some business going back and forth.
So I don't think delineating from Africa would be a good choice, because you're basically domestically embargoing yourself to just America, and
I get what you're saying on that. At the same time, I just don't have a desire to go. Right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody don't gotta go.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have friends that have gone. They go to Xavier University, and Xavier has a field trip there all the time, and I'm noticing a lot of people go. Now, will I go one day? Yeah, I'll probably go over there, but I want to know which country I'm going to. Now, we got Ghana and South Africa, and South Africa is the first thing on the list. But other than that,
Kenya.
I don't want to be going
to
no place. I don't want to be going to no country and they think I'm a damn Hutu or Tutsi or something, man.
Nah, for the most part, most of these countries.
that is the issue, though, bro. They got real issues.
Nah, of course, Africa got real issues. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tribalism, it's you know what I'm saying, and things like that. You got some Africans that's Western brainwashed, so they may be against certain people,
and I
but
saw a video one time, man. They have cab drivers and they got to carry guns and stuff like that. And like, okay, well, yeah, see, that's different. And I can tell you now, like going to Kingston, like I had to when I got back from Kingston, I'm like, listen, man, our ghetto ain't nothing on Kingston.
Right. Oh yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from Kingston.
Right. I was like, that's different. Right. And I was in the Magnolia, and I'm like, no, bro, that's different. That's different. That's like you seen a little bit on Belly.
Yo, but you know it's funny.
What?
You know it's funny. The first time I took a flight to New Orleans, I swear on everything I love, I thought I was flying into Jamaica, because you know when you fly into Louisiana, you kind of see like the swamps and like the gutters to drain like the waters and stuff, because it kind of remind me of like Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Now I can tell you what I do. I have a routine. I've been there several times. So what I do when I go to Jamaica, if I go to Montego Bay, because I'm from a tourist city, I know not to go spend my money in the first place where the tourists go, like where they have Margaritaville and all that. That's a lot of Indian folks, right? They own all that. Man, I think the white boy on them Margaritaville and stuff like that with the T-shirts and souvenirs. I take the little cab and then I tell them to bring us to the local strip thing, right, where you got when people sell their shirts there. And so I always make it a point to spend my money with the locals. Not just go enjoy a damn vacation. Spend your money with the locals. That's who need it. Because if you come, when you come to New Orleans, a lot of that stuff, those souvenir shops, those are owned by Indian folks and Arab. Right, and that's part of the reason how they got a lock on the game, and we see videos like that, like these people got incentives to to open their businesses in black areas, right? And they've been doing that since the 70s. See, that's part of our fight, man. We got all that to deal with, and all that comes with that reparations stuff, man. They ran a bridge through every major black neighborhood just to break us up. That's years, that's eons after slavery. Just to keep us like that. So a lot of people just read the history and that short history, but no, we put it all together. We remember all of that. And we know all of that. And so that whole woke thing was us waking up and understanding what our history is. Then it got hijacked. Now we got trans up there speaking about woke shit. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
So that what the whole woke thing was about. And I don't care what somebody personally do with their bodies or whatever it is. If they cover under FBA, I'm talking about them too. It's like Ice Cube was telling Vivica Fox. She was like, aren't women, black people too? She was like, no, well, black women need other stuff. Okay, well, whatever you need, we can put it in there. Yeah. Like black women ain't this. We've been pushing like this.
Right.
Right, and then, like we've been on Claude Anderson and stuff like that. Getting a little older, but he got his book out, and that's where we get out. They don't teach you that shit in school.
Yeah, but as far as like the alphabet community and gay rights, just me, I don't agree with that. That's just my culture coming from Jamaica. We got strict laws
they
against
try to tie black folks in there because black folks have the strongest voices. Our women. And that's what they like. Now they ain't got nothing. Now you just see a couple of what you see out there protesting now.
Right.
That's what you got out there. Ain't no power, no strength to it at all. That's like a Sunday school protest.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Coming from Jamaica, we got strict laws against homosexuality and lesbians and gay rights as a whole. So my culture don't agree with that. So I don't agree with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got the right to do that. And don't let them try to change your culture either, man. That's what they try to do to Africans. I'm good with that. You go put it. We got to put it in legislation for you to offer some kind of
shout out to Trump.
shout out to Trump because they had been a lot of Jamaican artists from coming to America and performing because they basically say you have to denounce and apologize to gay people, which stopped a lot of artists from coming to America to perform. But Trump kind of lifted that, and I mean let a lot of artists from the Caribbean and Africa come perform that don't agree with gay rights and stuff like that.
It's showing 502 when I talk. That's Cat 504, y'all. I don't know. I got the damn 2 up there.
Somebody said that Jamaicans stole that land from FBA, which was given to them by Ethiopia. Hey, if you think Shashamane was given to FBA's only, hey, you telling me something new. From what I know, Emperor Haile Selassie, he granted the land for the diaspora to resettle in Ethiopia with Shashamane, and it was granted for all diaspora. So if you feel like that was just strictly for FBAs and you feel like Jamaicans took it, maybe you enlighten me on something new that I never heard of. I don't know if you got a source for that or any documentation that you could put me up on. I'm not aware of Shashamane in Ethiopia is strictly just for FBAs. But hey, if that's how you feel, brother, I don't know. From what I know, Haile Selassie gave that land for all diaspora to migrate back to Africa.
We don't, FBAs don't agree with that, all that LGBT stuff either, man. We was raised different. That's them with that. That's who pushing it. You know what that is? The white folks dreamed about being cross-dressers and be able to wear and be free and go to work like that. They've been like that. There's nothing new. There's 70
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's their culture.
That.
I feel like that's their culture going back to Greece and Rome.
Yeah,
and the whole chaperone.
Like that, man. Look, we got what they call the red dress run down here in New Orleans. They come from all over the country to run around in dressing heels. Executives. That's a real thing. Decadence Fest. We host everything down here. They come from all over. They've been pushing that. And I'm like, I ain't about all that stuff now. Now they want to do the bathroom. I don't know what's wrong with California. California tripping. And then now they're gonna put up Gavin Newsom. Now Gavin Newsom didn't let the FBA reparations bill go through. Like we gonna forget that when they had a meeting at the State Hall. And he didn't let it go they didn't let it bring it up on the panel. And I think one of the NAACP people took the shit off or something like that. See, they be working together. And that's what I hate. We ain't got nobody really that's going to stand and just say, hey, this, and this, and come up with a plan.
Right.
Now, Jill Stein got a nice little plan, and they putting a little few things together, but that's all, that's an independent vote. And you need 5% of that to get some funds and get that going and stuff like that. So my thing is, being in Louisiana, which is a Republican state, when they're voting for president, I'm going to give my vote to Jill Stein. I damn sure they don't want more immigrants coming in.
Right.
Right, and then my thing ain't with Kamala and all that. That's just the whole Joe Biden thing. My thing is with Democrats. You need to tell us what you could do, offer us something. Now they cashing in on student loans. Now you talk everybody into getting student loans and degrees and stuff now. Now a lot of people gonna be trapped with that. We need something now. Because the pressure coming.
So what happened to Trump?
And all that kind of stuff.
Are you familiar with the Platinum Plan?
No, I don't know all the details of it. It's been a minute since I used to hear of it.
I think that was put together by I'm not 100% sure what group, but I know it was a Black American group that was supposed to be designed for Black Americans, like certain benefits. I haven't heard Trump talked about it recently, so I was kind of seeing what
Well, they got Ice Cube. When you get online and look up Ice Cube interview with, I think it's one of them old white boys from Fox News, got his own podcast now. See, one thing the Democrats learned is now the people on the net, we ain't following that shit on the news no more. I don't watch the news like that no more. If I want to know something that's going on in Jamaica, I'm gonna ask you. You in Jamaica? Okay, now this was going on. They trying to take over the lead or whatever. Right? If I'm in California, I can talk to y'all right here. And then we can pass information. You can't fool us. Like Kamala with the black stuff. Okay, then, they go through everybody's history now. Her parents and grandparents were slave owners in Jamaica.
Right.
Mama and dad, both Indian. Her dad was just born in Jamaica. You try to pass that off on us? Ain't like Indian folks like black folks either. They got problem with their own dark people in their own country.
Right.
That's a fact. So that's why you won't try to play that role. So, but it is what it is, man.
Right.
So now we're gonna see whatever Trump do. But right now, I don't have a problem with the outcome so far. Let's see. I mean, if we got some of these old Fox News dudes talking to Ice Cube, and then especially if they start talking to Dr. Claude Anderson, and they give him one of them more like O'Reilly and them, and they talk to them. Okay, now we got action, because that's who I want representing us, not whoever the Democrats putting up there in front of camera.
Hopefully, Dr. Claude Anderson or whoever is supposed to speak to the representative of the Republican Party or the Trump administration.
No, I'm just saying, man. Come on now, let's stop taking every damn thing literally, bro.
Now I'm just saying. Hopefully,
especially if they ever got to talk to people like that, or like Nina Turner. That's another favorite of mine. That's one of my favorites. Talk to Nina Turner. About
what's your thoughts on Representative Crockett? I think she out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she out of Houston.
Yeah.
I don't like when Crockett and the Latino lady that be on CNN. The little Latino lady. I don't like how they try to put illegal immigrants in suffering in what we fought for with our lineage and our things, right? Like the lady that was on CNN said, well, they're looking for a better place, just like, and she wound up telling the black dude, just like slaves were illegal immigrants. No, hold up. That's different. You see what I'm saying? Like, she been waiting to say that. Well, I didn't, and then she tried to backtrack on it. No, that's what you said. Because you fight for Latinos and immigrants. See, that's different. That's why I don't do the brown people thing. So, no, you can't ride off our struggles and what we fought for and then say that's just the same damn thing.
Right.
Crockett does that too.
I think I do agree with. I think the Democrats
they're trying to get votes with the shit.
Yeah,
they're trying to get pulled with the race and history with helping out these illegals. No, you can't. We're not playing that game.
Right. I think the Democrats did drop the ball as far as not specifically addressing Black Americans and basically just lumping it up with everybody else. I do agree with that.
Yeah, the Democrats dropped the ball when Obama got in office. He didn't do anything. When they asked him about doing something for black people, his words were similar, and don't give me word for word. Well, no politics. He cut the dude off and like, well, politics don't work like that. Well, how do politics work, man?
Yeah. But in a sense, though,
what Kamala said, Bill didn't do shit.
But in a sense, though, what I can say is that the type of power Trump has, as far as like basically having all branches of politics, we haven't really seen that with Obama. So if like Trump
Yeah,
trump anything off because the
the
Republicans got the
Democrats,
House, the Senate, and the Congress. In
the problem
sorry.
is ALPAC control both sides of the damn aisle, right? That's their donors, right? That's who.
Oh, you talking about APAC?
Yeah, APAC.
Yeah.
That's who they working for, right? APAC, those people there think, you know what? They got a meeting that they had, and somebody stuck a camera in with the top people in that community.
So
the top
so
leaders in Atlanta.
So you don't think? So you don't think?
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
The top leaders of that community said it's not Hamas or anything else that is their biggest threat or problem or issue. Not their biggest threat. It's black men.
That's what they said?
It's recorded, dude. I'm on my phone, but if I had it, you can pull it up.
Oh, wow.
Right, so I was like,
It's
my thing is, I got Jewish friends, I got friends on Facebook and stuff, Jewish friends and stuff like that. I said, what they mean by that?
You know, it's crazy because I always have this argument with people, especially Black Americans, because they like to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I just say, hey, if you look at the politics and the people that control certain industries that Black Americans should control, as far as hip hop or some of these things, I think your fight is more with
every aspect of what black folks into. Everything.
I think your fight. I like to.
They got control of. All the way to
I like to tell people
everything.
Yeah, I like to tell people you fight more with them than anybody else, because if hip hop is Black Americans, it's not the Anglo-Saxon or the tethers from Africa that's controlling hip hop or the news media, is the small hats. So if anybody that's undermining Black Americans is really the APAC, the ADL.
Yes. So that's why that's my answer to you when you asked me about Crockett. She'll push that APAC agenda, and I'm not with that APAC agenda.
Yeah, and to me, they gotta pack with their homeland, which is
No, and no, you know what we need to do? What we need to do when we catch one of them and the thing is the same thing that they did with Kamala, and the same thing I just said. What you gonna do for black people? That's the answer. That's the only question we got.
Oh, they got nothing. They got nothing.
Okay, well, they're gonna have to answer. Now they're talking about it. Okay, what you gonna do? What's the plan for black people? Now you want to come up with a plan. It better be a good one that includes cash payments, because you're not getting a vote. They hear us online and on the internet, on YouTube.
I don't see no tethers putting they children through universities based on drill music that they occupy, or Michael Jackson fight wasn't with no Africans. He said, "Jew me, screw me." Prince, the same way.
Well,
Kanye.
Because that's on visas, they're gonna stop all that. Trump's gonna stop all of that. You won't be getting new visas to come to college here. Whoever's here needs to stay here if you're from another country, and don't leave. You may not. You see, some of these people can't fly back.
You know, it's scaring me.
I mean, you might be all right with Jamaica, but I mean, you see, some of these people can't come back.
Man, listen, I got
and stuff like that.
Man, listen, I got a U.S. passport. I'm a citizen of America, and I'm scared to fly.
Right, right. But you're welcome with us, and so that's what we're telling people now. We're the most welcoming damn people that I ever heard of in anybody's history. FBA's on.
I wouldn't say it. I would say it's just more the policy that the APAC has put forward as far as both sides of the
campaign. Look who is ran by. They gonna stay on top financially. You got Margaret Sanger, all them things there, man. What you think they've been crippling us since the 70s?
Right.
Yeah, we don't forget that. Like you can't expect them to teach the history. They're gonna try to chop it up. You don't have to worry about chopping it up. I teach my own kids.
And people forget that when you have brothers like Dr. Tony Martin and Farrakhan that was pushing for reparations in the 90s and pointing out the different insurance companies, the different banking institutions that finance different slave ships and stuff like that. They fought hard
we
against.
know who owned those slave ships too.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And see that what I be telling them, hey man, y'all act playing like the play innocent like you not. Y'all aggressors too. Y'all all up in there too. That you want us to spend our money with you, so we became the biggest spender because they knocked off all our businesses. All we can do is spend.
Yeah.
Work and spend. So if the argument about reparations come in, like how's it going, that's going to stimulate the economy because we ain't going to send our money nowhere else. We ain't sending it back home to Africa or nothing like that. We're going to spend it here. Every industry gets a boost in. Then I hear some black and white, mainly white folks, oh, we going to spend it on. Don't worry about what we're going to spend it on.
Yeah, I don't think that should be their problem or Black Americans
concerned about what they see on TV.
If Black Americans want to start businesses or buy 100 Jordans and Mercedes Benz and gold chains, that's how they want to spend their money.
They do that with the Irish and the natives. Then why you watching our money? You don't worry about the wrong thing. Do what's right and pay what the country owes, and we ain't got another complaint in the world.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I think that's just a tactic. Even with we should just give reparations to like the ed for school institutions where like the same way you gave these Jews money for the Holocaust, even though no Black American or whatever was involved in Auschwitz or whatever camp or whatever. If you could give $5 billion annually to these Jews in Israel for the Holocaust, even though no American was involved, you should be able to give.
You think I give a ever about a damn tether and what he thinks?
Yeah, you should
for the ones that are the negative ones who will come in and criticize us. Really, you don't even right?
Even though reparations even though I'm not benefiting, I feel like they should snatch that money from Israel that they give it annually, the $5 billion or whatever $1 billion they give it to Israel. That's already a developed country. They could stand on their own two feet.
Look at the damn $2 trillion with that the spending.
Ukraine.
The money by the Democrats, all the money they spend, they get a budget like that every damn year.
I think one way.
So that money that they were sending over there for LGBTQ stuff in Afghanistan and all these could look like allegedly some of these dummy damn companies is selling billions to $2 billion to your girl in Atlanta and all that kind of stuff. That y'all loan all this money overseas and stuff like that. Y'all can do nothing for us.
Yeah, I think one way the Republicans can get the
right.
Yeah, I feel like one way the Republicans can.
USAID stuff, yeah, and we've been hearing about that because you remember the old Clinton Fund had some shaky stuff going on back in the days with some of the African stuff like that. They've been setting up, sending money over there because you get to keep 25% of a nonprofit, if I'm not mistaken, and you load it up and just recycle the money, and then the other one come in and Abrams get $2 billion.
And to me, all that is a scam too. Like how they did Haiti with the hurricane, with the earthquake, and the Clinton Foundation. Right. They just stole all the money that people donated to Haiti. They didn't build one house, nothing up to help the Haitians.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should be able to give some of that those money.
Right, Puerto Rico.
They should be able. The Republicans should be able to give some of that Doge money that they claim Elon Musk is saving. They should be able to give that as some form of reparations to Black people.
That's why I don't have a real problem with Elon Musk right now because he, far as what I'm understanding, he only has the right to to read and review it. He don't have the right to change nothing or dig into nothing and take any personal information for as I know, right? So, but to expose where the money going and you know, people getting Social Security and, you know, and shouldn't be, and some,
I mean,
people that's
you know, it should,
and all of that, you got to trim
I
that
wouldn't
down.
agree.
Now,
I don't agree with.
let me tell you where it's
Yeah.
going to hit the fan for Republicans at. When they go through the military budget, because we know the military, I don't know if you know, our military has a big budget and they spend a lot on frivolous stuff. So I want to see how much they gonna cut off that and what kind of noise that's gonna make.
Jeff, you said sending money to Haiti was a disaster. I mean, your government sent $5 billion annually, not one year, annually to Israel. I don't see no FBA fighting the government, talking about that money should be allocated to Black Americans.
I don't agree with sending a damn dollar to Israel. For what?
I don't hear no FBAs fighting for the $5 billion that the government is sending to Israel, even though they got nukes, they got institutions, they got running railways, they got F-35 flying over Palestine and Yemen. I don't even think they need the.
Not only that, they got the Iron Dome protecting Israel. So the Iron Dome is the weapon that shoots down any missile that comes close to the Israel at all. So they have
on the corner. Israel had one of the most well-renowned air defense system, and I don't think they need $5 billion annually. I don't see no FBAs fighting for that $5 billion that your government is sending over to Israel annually. But you got a problem with people sending money to Haiti for earthquake and disaster, even though Haiti was the first country to offer citizenship for Black Americans when they was enslaved, even though Haitians fought.
Why do we got a problem with, all right, I don't, you keep giving us arguments, bro. Who has said something about relief funds going to Haiti?
I'm talking about Jeff in the chat room. He said sending money to Haiti was a disaster. I said, well, your government sent $5 billion annually to Israel.
Wait, hold on. See, the way it works sometimes, the government sends money, but they don't regulate it. They send money to, like, you have a lot of organizations, like 501c3s, that go like the Clintons. I heard they did Haiti dirty. Okay, I know you heard that, right? Hillary. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's organizations setting up, pretending to be helping, and they're taking the money. So maybe Jeff is saying, hey, some of that money that's supposedly went to Haiti didn't go to Haiti. Like, it went to the Clintons' pockets, and they did what they did with it. So maybe that could be what he's saying. But you can't always just take criticism and make it, like, negative, bro. Try to understand what he's saying.
I understand that. So, but you understand my point?
What?
I think that $5 billion annually that America sent it to Israel, they should be giving that to Black Americans.
No. We ain't in nobody's pockets. Yeah, I want to send $5 because all that is telling us that, hey, basically the last people to come against us, the same people receiving those monies. Yeah, y'all better be quiet, because when we come get our money, y'all saying some shit. Then we gonna come after it. Yeah. Oh. So no.
So Ron, you got no problem with the U.S. government sending billions of dollars annually to Israel, before they give it to Black Americans.
All right, so brother, listen.
So did bent on that.
Okay, wait, hey, Kev, let me address that. I'm trying. I got. Sometimes this guy got to take these breaths. He be saying stuff he don't know what he's talking about. The Japanese got money before us as well. Okay, a lot of people got more money. We got money before us. Okay. So, listen, that's strengthening our argument. So we don't got a problem like that, but we're saying, we use those case in point scenarios. Now, let me ask you this. You keep bringing up Israel, the United States. Do you know why even the United States pays Israel 1 cent?
They're going to say that Israel is their top allies.
No. Okay, no, they're not going to say that. See, here's the thing. This is your topic. You've been talking about Israel. I've been listening the whole time. Bro, you need to see now, Kwame, what I did was I studied the history of immigration in the United States. So I actually can open everybody's ears and eyes in the chat, because nobody really ever Googled or Wikipedia why they send money to Israel. We just talk about it, but we never understand why.
I know why they sent money, because they were responsible to a degree of why Jewish people were Holocaust. Did you know that? American government. Did you know that?
Nah, explain to me how the American government was responsible
because
for the Holocaust.
they have an immigration act, and they have a quota where they allow certain immigrants to the country. Well, do you know when the Jews are trying to flee from Hitler, because we do take on asylum seekers, we do take on refugees. When it came to Jewish people, we purposely shortened that quota, and we purposely cut them off. So we, in essential, locked them into Germany to get Holocaust. A lot of them could have survived and fled from the Holocaust. We cut off immigration. We cut off restriction, immigration restriction. We cut it off. So we locked them in Germany. Now, keep in mind, before then, we were allowing them over, like wholesale, hundreds of thousands of them over here. But until that war popped off and Hitler was doing them dirty, we purposely sabotaged their escape, pretty much. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't know about that. I ain't talk about that in my life before, but I studied the history of immigration in America. So this is why they said
so because America had a strict immigration policy, now they're in debt to pay Israel annually for billions of dollars.
Well, okay, look, dude, you're asking me about something that's stupid. I'm saying whatever they agreed on. Okay, but they are accountable for why a lot of them, hundreds and thousands, not millions, were Holocaust. So I don't know what type of compensatory thing they worked out with. I don't know the details. Okay, but I do know that they shut off the bridge for them to come over here as they normally would any other year. They purposely cut it off. I do know that.
So based on that observation.
No, it's not based on, that's just history. No. See, what I'm giving you history, and you're trying to give me an opinion or an assessment. I'm just giving you history, why people are doing things in America. I'm just giving you history. I'm not giving you an opinion.
Okay.
I'm giving you history, historical accounts, why this is going on. That's why. Okay. I understand what exactly you just said. Right, so don't ask my opinion. I'm just telling you because you didn't know. Because you said they're gonna say. I ain't asked about what they're gonna say. I'm asking what history tells, what history says, and what's actually documented, that the events that happened. I'm just giving you that. I'm not giving you no opinion. So don't
can I ask your opinion?
No, I don't have an opinion on that because we have our own movement that's separate from what they do with Israel. Separate what they do with Haiti.
But you have an opinion on the
but you don't know. See, that's the thing. You give people talking points. You never ask me my stance on things. You never do that.
Okay, can I ask you your opinion?
No, see that. Wait, first of all, chat, do me a favor. Everybody subscribe. Let everybody like the channel and come back because I have different channels. But I'm gonna go live on this one more because this one has no strikes. The other channels, YouTube been sabotaging, shadow banning me. But this channel is not sabotaged, it's not shadow banned, and don't have any strikes. All right. So anybody that's checking out the convo and like it, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and tune in because I am going to talk about the dude, the black brother who I am going to talk about the black brother who the white boys kicked down his door basically and shot him. They got him for murder in a state where they practice castle doctrine. So this is like clear disrespecting like black people rights in America. Okay, and I don't know what the black guy is. He could be Asian, Jamaican, I don't know. But all I do know.
Talking to you guys, man. I got to go and get out of here, man.
All right, Kev, man. Yeah, hey, Kev, man. Let me go live again, man. Come back in and chop it up.
Yeah. Right. I will do that. All right, appreciate it.
Hey, yo, peace cap to the whole Louisiana. I mean, peace to you and your family, and your daughter, and your whole family.
Yeah, so chat, like I said, subscribe, like the video, and we'll be coming back live here. I invited Kwame on because I wanted to hear his thoughts on,
Ron, let me ask you one last question, right?
I mean, you can ask me a question. What? Like, I'm just like I was on mute because I'm at constantly listening to right? You know what I mean? Israel or these things, all these crazy folks up in here. But what's the
I
question?
mean, no, I didn't bring it up. He brought up APAC, so we just went down the line.
What's the question?
So you based on your assessment of what you researched, do you justify that over giving Black Americans?
It's not about okay, dude. It's not about justifying over nothing. Okay, see now that's your assessment because you're not foundational Black American. Like that's not something we would even like. If you're not on this phone, as there was myself, Kez, and other folks on this phone, we wouldn't even be talking about, hey, would you prioritize this? Of course we won't. We every group that's harmed by America is going to prioritize themselves over anybody else. That's just called self-preservation. So of course I won't be like, yeah, we'll wait. Just give it for internment camps and Native Americans. Everybody's going to speak for themselves and want themselves to be compensated first and foremost. So that question not even like I believe it's like genuine, like from the heart. You just trying to do a gotcha moment. So no, I'm not going to think nobody should be ahead of us.
What I'm saying is, I think those funds should be allocated to FBA before they.
Then guess what? You're entitled to your opinion, and some people might argue your opinion. Some folks won't. I'm not going to do that today. You know, you're entitled to your opinion, and I just okay, interesting. And why do you believe so? By the way, why do you believe that $5 billion should be allocated?
Should go to that should go to FBA before it go to Israel. I feel like the atrocity.
But we don't want $5 billion. No, but the dollar amount's too small though. We're asking for $20 trillion. We're asking for $5 billion.
Yeah, but I heard you the other day when you was talking about the dude on Joe Budden's show, and you said that it wouldn't be a one-time payment, and I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. So I agree. My assessment is instead of giving Israel billions of dollars annually, those funds should be allocated.
No, because I don't believe they're not owed that. That's the thing. I'm not one to say, hey, why take that from them? No, I'm saying, hey, $5 billion, that's light. But I'm saying, yeah, whatever you paying them, that's all good. It's like think about like basketball. Like, you know, if we're on the same team, I think I'm better than you. But the coach give you like a nice contract, maybe like $25 million a year. I can be like, no, how was that? Why you pay? I'm like, oh, all right, we got 25. I'm better, so I'm looking at 60, right? Well, I'm out of here. That's my conversation. My conversation ain't, no, hell no. Take that away from Kwame and pay me. No, I don't do that. It's like, yo, you got $5 billion. I understand, and you got a lot more. But
so why you? Let me ask you another. So why you against like immigration organization or funds that's allocated to different immigrant groups?
Why do you believe I ever made that argument before? See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like you just say stuff and you misrepresent people, and then you ask it like that's
okay.
My position.
Let me reframe it. Are you against any immigration organization or any funds that's allocated to immigrants?
Okay, so have you ever heard me argue about fundings or programs that was for legal immigrants? Have you ever heard me say anything against legal immigrants? So to answer your question, I'm only against illegal.
Okay.
Anybody legal? That's none of my business.
Okay. That's fair. I can respect that. I was just saying my opinion. I feel like those funds should be allocated to Black Americans before they should be allocated to a foreign government based on the atrocities and the different redlining and stuff that Black Americans went through versus Israel.
I got it. But I do know this. Hey, Chad, what they do the same thing with Tariq Nasheed. What they do is they call in his podcast. They try to get us to go against the Jewish people so bad. They try to get us to argue against Jewish people. It's not gonna work, bro. Like, we know that you want us to fight your feelings, right? And we're saying,
that's not my. I'm just assessing what's going on.
I answered the question 3, 4, 5 times. I said, why am I concerned with what they worked out with America? It's like, just like I'm not concerned about any other deal, legal, you know what I mean, that's worked out. I even explained why they even doing that you didn't know.
So it's like, yo, dude, I'm sure they got a deal with Saudi Arabia. They was just over there and Al Qaeda, whatever. Not Al Qaeda, but the other regions. Saudi Arabia, it was one more, Syria. All right, that got nothing to do with me. So I'm not gonna speak against stuff like that. Now, if I think the money was, if I had proof that the money was being sent for ill gain or things that was like stupid, then I would speak out against it, obviously. But if I don't know the details and why it's being sent and things like that, I kind of don't give an opinion on things I don't know. Unlike you. Okay, but when I don't know something, I'm just out of it until I get educated on it.
Oh, let me ask you a question. Have you seen Moda Maya recent video in Burkina Faso?
Who's?
Moda Maya.
Who the hell is that?
I said Woda Maya. I said
who?
Woda Maya. Woda Maya.
Who's that?
The African dude that's traveled from country to country and he's a
YouTuber. It's can do that being like in he be like in like there's just a couple of them, so I don't know what you're talking about. I do know, I do watch certain guys that travel to like
Woda Maya. We spoke about him.
I'm not sure their name though. Huh?
Woda Maya. We spoke about him briefly before.
Nah, I've never said that name. I never said that name. That name don't ring a bell at all to me. But okay, what happened? He went over there. What happened?
Woda Maya is a YouTuber that travels from like different black countries.
Yeah, I know a couple guys do that, but I'm not familiar with who is who though. Like I just watch it for entertainment. But yeah, I'm not sure. I probably know who he is, just not by name. But what about him? Like what happened? Was he dark and kind of chubby?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember seeing the thumbnail. He said I met with the leader right, but I didn't watch it. I seen the thumbnail, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, he recently went to Burkina Faso and he did like a whole 1 hour documentary on the different developments that's going on in Burkina Faso. And he actually documents the electric car company that I was speaking about.
Oh shit! Ain't that, Brad? That's false. Ain't no. For the dude is getting information. The dude is getting resources from Russia and technology of nuclear energy. Right? Ain't no fucking electricity over there. Like this dude ain't got no energy plan yet. Yeah, he's trying to get that now from Russia, from Vladimir Putin.
What I'm saying is he documents the tomato factories and different stuff that people was in doubt of.
They're setting, bro. This is a futuristic thing that they plan to do in the future. They're not doing none of that shit right now. Nowhere close.
You sure?
Like, bro,
sure about that? If you haven't watched it,
I don't need it. It's pseudo. It's pseudo. Because we already looked this stuff up. If it don't exist, it's pseudo. You were wrong. He's lying. Whatever you got going on, that's what that means, right? Look, whatever he's looking at is documented. Right? There's no secrets. Well, it's a secret plant in Burkina Faso. The world, the French was the French were just over there, bro. They know all about what's going on in Burkina Faso. There's nothing over there that's secret that they don't know about. They got their own news channel that he kicked out, 24 and whatever else. Ain't nothing in there secretive. And that's how America know about what's over there. It's the French news and reporting things.
I think maybe you should check out the documentary.
I'm good. I don't know. No, that's the thing, brother. You watch documentaries. I don't. I read. Okay, you can't. You read. You read. You don't watch documentaries. Documentaries ain't based on truth. This many documentaries in America. This many documentaries in America is based off fake news. Like Pandemic was a fucking goofball show. So yeah, bro, that don't mean nothing, bro. Show me what's in writing. Show me what's documented. All right, that's what I want to read. Not no goddamn personal. I can make a documentary and jazz it up looking all crazy. Anybody can do that, bro. That's not real research. I watch a documentary on so and so. I got the truth. Sure you do.